Vertcoin is an open source, truly decentralized digital currency that can be sent from peer to peer over the internet. There are no intermediaries, no chargebacks, and most importantly, you control your money. Vertcoin is sent and received from a digital wallet on your mobile phone or PC. When you send Vertcoin, the transaction is published to a distributed public ledger, whereby users are incentivized to verify transactions with their computer processing power in return for a Vertcoin reward. Surprisingly, most transaction verification for leading cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, is not done by its users at all. It is handled almost entirely by large data centers called mining farms. These farms use specialized hardware called ASICs, which are primarily owned and operated by large mining companies and ASIC manufacturers. So why does it matter? ASICs centralize power in the hands of a few, allowing them to manipulate transaction fees, force protocol changes, and block others. Vertcoin foresaw the issues ASICs would bring and pledges to keep its mining algorithm ASIC resistant by hard forking if needed. By allowing users to profitably mine coins on home desktop PCs and laptops, Vertcoin stays true to the original vision of cryptocurrency, a financial system owned and run by its users. Visit vertcoin.org to get started.
All right, guys, that was not a very smooth transition. Definitely could have been a lot better. So I want to thank you for joining us this evening on this episode. Well, it's not an episode of Vertcoin Talk. Today we are talking about the fork. So just checking to make sure audio levels are good and everything of that nature. So a little bit different of a setup than normal. I'm actually using my laptop here to do the encoding as opposed to my main computer, because my main computer, we are going to be mining a little bit of Verthash on here, so want to get everything squared away to where we can actually do a little bit of mining. So I have clock down, or the countdown up here, so anybody, you can go into the chat where you, or into the description, you'll see the Vertcoin fork or the Verthash fork, where you can have this page up on your computer. Estimated time is 3:33. Actually, no, 3:36. Wait, I'm looking at two different. So I see the feed that's going out to you guys. So right now it's at 3:33 a.m. Tonight. So we're just about 6 hours away. I don't know if I'm going to be up that late. It is late. My 3-year-old normally will wake me up about that time. But the goal is I would like to be on for the actual fork this evening. So one of the things that we're doing here, I'll show you guys just the general setup that I have going here on my machine. So I am running a single 2080 Ti on my machine. I have a 1070 in the laptop, but I'm going to use that for encoding, so we're not going to be mining on that. So do have some updates as far as the one-click miner. So just want to let everybody know that the one-click miner, it looks like P2 proxy got updated and should be working for whenever we fork over to Verthash. So wanted to point that out first. Also in the description, you're going to see a list of mining pools. So we got P2 pool, P2 proxy, we got other dedicated pools in support of Steve, who does a lot inside of our mining channel, Steve at hashalot.net. I will be mining directly to his pool for the fork today. It's just one little 2080 Ti. It's not like I have a gigafactory of freaking GPUs and stuff of that nature, but I'm going to do my little part. So I'm going to be mining to his pool, which actually I will go ahead and bring these up. So one of the main things I wanted to do tonight was I wanted to kind of help guide people down this route of preparing for the fork. So last 2 years ago, we did a fork, and really the timer, so you see 3:33 right now as far as a fork goes, that is as of now. But the thing is that when this fork From, isn't it? The bridge image. No, actually, well, I don't know. I think this is, I don't know where this image is from. This is a background that I have. I just got them cycling. I'm sure I can look it up. I'll have to figure out where that image is from now. I really don't know. I think I was just looking up bridges because I like going to the Outer Banks in North Carolina. But no, so the time that's currently on there right now, let me throw it back up onto the screen here. So this time that is currently on the screen now is not going to be the time that the fork happens. So right when you get right towards, you know, the last few blocks that need to be updated, it really starts to pick up speed. So the reason for that is that we have miners will actually be taking their machines offline in order to prepare for the fork. Yeah, Tyler, I think that is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. So this is, you know, I'm here in Virginia, so that would make sense. I can't remember where I got that image from. But yeah, so the miners will take their machines offline right before the fork in order to switch them over to the Verthash algorithm. So if you guys don't know, and actually let me see if I can pull this up here real quick. I don't know if we go over to, let's see. So if you're not in our Discord, I would heavily advise you guys get into our Discord. There is a ton of great information in there to prepare you for mining this evening to get you over into Verthash. So if we go in right here, you can see that under the mining help tab, there's a lot of people that are actually, I gotta take this off the screen. There we go. So on the mining help tab that we have here inside of Discord, you'll see there's a lot of pinned messages. So for the fork, you're going to require the Vertcoin Core wallet, and you're going to want to download the Verthash miner, the latest release of that. You'll extract the Verthash miner. You'll download this generate config.bat right here. Move that generate config.bat into the Verthash miner folder, and then double click it. This will then you'll open your config file. You will change out your location for your verthash.dat. This will be in the folder that your Verthash 17.1 wallet is in, and then you'll want to connect to the do a connection. You'll want to set your algorithm to Verthash, and then your VTC address right here. Save, and then click start miner.bat. When you do that, let me go and pull that up here real quick. Where are we at? Downloads. So, all right. So this is what it looks like here. You'll see. Just got to make sure that you can see me here. So your start miner.bat will run. When that runs, then you will have your, everything will start running. It's going to connect. Now I am connected to the Hashalot pool right here. So the stratum has failed because the Verthash algorithm has not yet started, so it will retry. Although I do think Steve was taking his stuff offline there for a second in order to prep things. Let's see, Steve, let's update. So yeah, so Steve is currently getting that set up on his end. If we go over to the general channel, we can see the pin, which are, these are the other systems that are in inside, whoops, that are on the description. Let me pull this up here real quick. I'm gonna pull these different pages up inside of the browser, and let me just see if I can get that pulled up on the screen. So, sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a different show this evening. Normally, it's kind of bam, 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 going from topic to topic to topic. But this evening, we're actually going to just be exploring things. I'm going to take your questions, try and get you the information that's needed in order to prepare you for the fork. Now, I am not a mining god. I am a rank amateur dude who happens to be surrounded by extremely intelligent people, and an extremely helpful Discord channel that will help you get up in mining. So want to just get some of these different websites up and running. These are the different pools that are going to be available for the Verthash mining this evening. So let me move this over here. So I personally am a huge fan of P2 Pool. I like P2 Pool simply because it's not operated by a single individual. It is just as decentralized as possible. However, I am always a fan of supporting the different systems or the different pools that are available here. Let me narrow this in here just a little bit. So we're going to, so this is hashalot.net. So right here you can get your stratum. So if you want to change out your code inside of your miner, you can do that right here. And this is for the pooled mining, so mining with others. You can also do solo. So if you want to mine solo, you're more than happy to as well. So there's a 2% fee on the solo and a 1% fee on the pool. So you can see here some people are testing some stuff out. It looks like the other one here is Supernova. So this is a system here for Verthash. You can get your port stratum, so you can get you can go to a higher difficulty on these right here. And then this is going to be basically what your line, your bat code looks like for Verthash. So let me see if I can pull this up here real quick. So if you follow the steps that Verton put in the mining channel, it's actually a pretty nifty little way of going about doing it, because you can get your, instead of doing everything inside of the bat that you started, you have a config file that you can open up here, and let me see if I can get it. So here we go. So your connection, so this basically gives you a full rundown of everything that you need to do in order to get what everything means. So like if you've never done this before, because I mean I was in this boat for, you know, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago, where I had never done anything before, and it's, you know, it's kind of daunting when you start doing this stuff via command line and things of that nature, and you know, this just isn't your forte. This isn't what you do on a daily basis. If you're not in command line and doing system admin stuff and computer science, a lot of times that can be, oh, breaking news for Hashalot Mining. He's dropping all fees for the next 24 hours. So he's going to do 0 fees on the pool mining and on solo mining. So Hashalot is going to have a 0 fee on his system right here. So Steve, oh, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. So you can see, and this is stuff that's coming out right now inside of the Discord. So you can see Steve right here is just dropping, letting me know that he's going to be dropping all fees. So that's awesome. Thanks, man. Truly appreciate it. You know, so big shout out to you, Steve. That is the first pool line. You can see what all is required there in order to get that squared away. So he's going to be dropping his fees for the first 24 hours. So that's awesome. Let me get back to the code right here. So, you know, your URL, this is giving you some examples. So everything that is in this little section is the connection setup right here. There's a step-by-step guide on kind of how to do this inside of the Discord, and it'll get you completely set up to where you're going to be able to get that all set up and start mining. So the supernova.cc, this will also get you set up right here so you can download the miner. The verthash.dat you can download here as well. You're going to want to get your 17 dot what is it at here? So you're going to want to make sure that your Vertcoin core wallet, you are on the latest wallet. So this is 0.17.1. in order to make sure you are prepped and ready to go and prepared to participate in the fork this evening. That's the key. So having that core wallet is the key to assisting and participating in the fork, because the core wallets are what determine what chain you're on, and in that wallet it is designed to, at the 1,500,000 block, it will fork to the Verthash algorithm. So let me just let's see here. I'm gonna throw this up. So this is supernova.cc. This is another pool that's going to be available. I don't know if he is dropping any of his fees on here, and I don't know if he actually has fees. Let me double check his thing here real quick. Let's see. So we get our total hash, number of pool workers, statistics, help. Let's see if we have any fees. I don't know if they do. I have not used him before. Yeah, let's open blocks. Not sure. If anybody in the chat can tell me, not 100% sure as to if he's got fees or not. Interesting. All right, Zerg pool is another one right here. You can see here's the Vertcoin pool. Not as user friendly in order to get set up. Let's see, block hash difficulty confirmed. So Zerg pool, we go here. This will give you all of your information. So layer 2, we need the Verthash. Where is that on here? I'm doing this live, so I'm not sure where I need to go. Please correct me in the chat if I am all over the place. Estimated time of fork is now at 3:40 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. So we are 5 hours and 52 minutes and 30 seconds away. So it is coming. I can throw that up here real quick just so you can see what that looks like. So there we go. That gives you the latest information. Let me try and figure out. The Zerg pool is not as user friendly as these other ones, I'll say. Mining-Dutch.nl, this is going to be supporting it as well. Let's see. Prices, charts, mining, help and info, different pools. Trying to find this out here real quick. Vertcoin. So they already have the VTC Verthash. They have that currently. You have to have an account for the DutchMining.dl, which I'll take that back off here. You can check this out here. They're supporting it, and then F2 Pool is also supporting the fork. So if we want to go to miners, oh, there we go. It was actually right there at the top. So the mining algorithm VTC will change over from layer 2 Rev 3 to Verthash hard fork. So you can actually come here and see some more information about that there. So I will say Hashalot and Supernova, they look to be at least the most user-friendly when it comes to getting stuff square into the system and rocking and rolling. So I'm going to be using Hashalot.net tonight. So, and I don't know if you guys like little Vertcoin sign that I got here. So this was actually made, this is about a year ago. Problem is I don't have my shelves behind me yet, so I still got a little bit more work to do here in my office. I'm going to put some shelves back there. That's going to go up there, and some other items in order to have here on in the office. So let's see here real quick. So we're all set there. Let me look to see what questions we got going on. So Eat Dos Tacos, I'm going to try to stream till the fork. I'm going to try to. Just me on here. So not a ton of information. I'm here to basically just kind of help get people through the process of mining this evening and getting prepped in order to switch over to the new algorithm. Scale thing is a bit on OBS. Let's see. This design is not so unique. Drove it once. Just looking. Yeah. So if anybody is interested in AV production, I'm using actually NDI tools to pull my screen from this machine here over into my encoder, and we're using Wirecast this evening as the encoder. Normally, like what the show I did earlier this week was with Streamlabs OBS, and I'll do it on this machine, and I won't actually use the other machine here. So that's why you see me going back and forth between these different machines. Let's take a look here. I just want to get into the Discord. Like if you have any concerns or questions or anything like that about mining this evening or the fork or anything of that nature, get in the Discord. That is the place to be in order to get some information. So the one-click miner, we did get P2 pool squared away on that, so that should be working for the fork this evening. If anybody's using the P2 pool, the one-click miner release candidate number 2, you should be fine in order to do mining this evening. I am going to use Core Wallet, and I'm going to do I'm going to use the actual Verthash miner from Cryptographics, and I'm going to be tying right into the Hashalot mining pool in order to be ready to go for mining. So one of the good things with that is that, say I get tired, odds are probably going to happen. I can actually set my miner up, get it all ready to go, and then what I'll do is I'll just set an alarm for probably 3 o'clock, simply because with it being at 3, then I can come down here and get everything ready and stuff of that nature. So yeah, this is your first fork. This is our third, fourth. It's been 2 years since we did our last one. I'm hoping that Verthash is the last one for a while. So it really depends on, we're hoping that this new algorithm is much more detrimental to people trying to make ASICs. It doesn't fit inside of the normal mold of an ASIC. It doesn't, have, there's some tweaks and things like that. And if anybody did not get a chance to go back and watch our live stream from last, was it 2 nights ago? Was it Wednesday night? Yeah. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, please go back and check that out, because we had JK, who's one of the developers, on, and he talked about some of the things inside of Verthash that are pretty granular, kind of detailed, and kind of how it functions, how the actual hashing algorithm works. And then he also showcased some submarine swaps that we're looking to build into the one-click miner, which is going to be awesome. Yeah, this is the 4th fork. So James is in the chat. If anybody has any questions, James Lovejoy, lead developer for Vertcoin, is in the chat here inside of the stream. James, I don't know if you are busy or near a camera, or if you would like to jump in and get on the show, you're more than welcome to. But I know he has been working extremely hard to try and get P2 proxy up and running, getting that all squared away so that the one-click miner can get, and P2 pool squared away so that the one-click miner can operate this evening after the fork. Let's see here. Just checking out the Discord. I mean, if you guys want to jump in, jump out, as far as the stream goes, there's not going to be a ton of new information here. It's just really trying to be a resource for people prepping for the fork this evening. Let me throw this back up here real quick. So there is our current guesstimation. I do want to thank Adam, who's in our Discord. He is the one that he actually set this up for the last fork when we went from Layer 2 Rev 2 over to Layer 2 Rev 3. And he basically just repurposed it, changed the look and stuff of that nature a little bit for Verthash. Extremely helpful for being able to communicate out when the fork is actually going to happen. That is when fork, or when, hold on, what is it? It is when VTC fork.xyz. Check it out there. I'm actually going to I'm gonna play a old commercial. I say old, I mean it's only like a year or so old when we had it last done, but you can see that things are a little bit different back then. But I'm gonna play this commercial here real quick, grab myself something to drink. I'll be back in just a second.
What is Vertcoin? Vertcoin is a digital currency that can be sent between people over the internet without having to rely on any payment processor. Compared to other alternative technologies, Vertcoin has a number of advantages. Like Bitcoin and Litecoin, Vertcoin isn't controlled by large banks or institutions. Vertcoin is free from control of big mining hardware manufacturers and can be mined by anybody profitably. One of Vertcoin's biggest strengths is its active community of developers and members working as volunteers, all growing entirely off of donations. With Vertcoin, you can truly be your own bank. Let's take a look at some of the great features Vertcoin has to offer. Decentralized mining. Mining should be fair and easy, which is what Vertcoin delivers by not allowing ASICs on the network. This ensures long-term security and fair distribution of the currency. Vertcoin's one-click miner. Building a strong network requires many miners. So Vertcoin made mining easy with their one-click miner. Now anyone can mine and earn Vertcoin fairly and easily at the single click of a button. Active development team. Vertcoin developers are constantly working towards advancements in blockchain technology. And building strong relationships with other blockchain developers helps us learn and share information for better outcomes. Segregated witness. SegWit allows Vertcoin to increase its block sizes and add second-layer solutions for further improvements, such as the Lightning Network. Lightning Network. The Lightning Network offers scalable, instant blockchain transactions, allowing for massive increases in network capacity and an instant point of sale for merchant adoption. Atomic cross-chain swaps. A decentralized way of exchanging your Vertcoin with another coin that exists on a different blockchain. One of the benefits to Vertcoin is that the software is completely open source and anybody can review the code. Vertcoin is changing the financial system, the same way the internet changed publishing. Vertcoin will allow everyone access to the global market, incentivizing great ideas to flourish. Let's take a look at some examples of how Vertcoin is already used today. You can purchase video games, gifts, books, servers, and even a nice pair of socks. Vertcoin is listed on a number of exchanges where you can exchange those coins for dollars, euros, and more. Vertcoin's low transaction fees and quick payments allow any small business to offer multiple payment options. Unlike Visa and MasterCard, there isn't any cost to get set up to accept Vertcoin as a business. There are no chargebacks, and there's just a very small transaction fee that equates to about 1 cent. You get additional business from the crypto economy by accepting cryptocurrencies. Does this look like something you would be interested in? Do you want to know where to buy and how to mine your first Vertcoin? Go to vertcoin.org today.
All right, guys, welcome back. So yeah, that was an old commercial. So you can see we had some Lightning Network stuff in there and things of that nature, and things have changed over the years. We were heavily vested in with the lit Lightning Network that was coming out of MIT, but they ended up abandoning that project and going in a different direction. So we're still operating and working towards things with the Lightning Network. So if you got to check out that stream from Wednesday, we actually saw some submarine swaps that were happening, but we were using some other parties in order to be able to incorporate that in. So had some questions while that was playing. Did get my miner up and running. So Steve got that pool up and running. So you can see there, that is the live 2080 Ti feed that I got going on right here. Now, because I am pushing 2 4K monitors, plus I'm doing NDI video stream pools over into my encoder here and everything of that nature. not worried about power consumption. I am feeding this 2080 Ti every bit of power that I can, currently averaging 2055 megahertz. I got my memory overclocked and stuff of that nature, but I'll throw that down here so you can see what I'm looking at as far as average total hash rate. This would be much, well, not much lower, but it would be, or not much, it's lower because I'm doing all this other graphic intensive stuff on my machine right now. So just so you guys can see everything, but you can see the hashing I'm currently doing to hashlot.net. So this is up and running. So I'm hashing, but I'm not actually mining anything. So this is, I can have this up and running, ready to go. And as soon as that 1,500,000 block hits, I'm off and running to the races. So this is the thing that most mining, people who do mining, when I was talking about before about the time speeding up with the hashing of the old algorithm, not old, the current algorithm, it's because people are going to be taking their miners offline in order to switch over to the Verthash algorithm. So that's going to be less power going into that algorithm, into layer 2 rev 3, and it's going to speed things up. So I think we're probably, I don't know, let's say about 5 hours maybe. I mean, it says 5 hours. I mean, if I throw it up on here real quick so you can see what that looks like. So it's, you know, it says 5 hours and 47 minutes and 30 seconds. But I think it's going to end up being a little bit quicker just based upon what happened last time with the stream. So hi manager. So yeah, I just saw that here where hold on, let me go back up. I want to answer some of these questions. I saw some questions that were coming in here. So asking about 51% attacks and Verthash. So this is one of the main reasons why we're doing Verthash. Two, this is also why we are not having, we've asked NiceHash not to support the Verthash algorithm. They have agreed to do so. So unless something changes there, that is another bonus in the fact that we're not going to be able to allow people to maliciously use something like NiceHash in order to attack the currency, which is great. It's always a plus. I think I stopped the mining. Yep, so we're good there. Let me mine that or minimize that. You know, the goal is to not have 51% attacks. Now, there's a few different ways you can go about doing that. The biggest method is increasing the overall network hashing power. So the more people hashing, the better. It's harder to 51% attack Litecoin because purely the raw amount of power necessary is just not there. However, can't really mine Litecoin with a GPU, where we're trying to stay focused on GPUs. Bitcoin, you can't mine Bitcoin with a GPU. However, was it a year or 2 years ago when Binance got hacked, and CZ, who's the owner of Binance or the CEO of Binance, had a conversation with like 10 people, and they were making the determination of whether or not to roll back the blockchain in order to resolve the hack that happened at Binance. It's 10 people. And those 10 people controlled at least 51% of the Bitcoin hashing power. So while yes, you can't have someone use something like NiceHash in order to attack Bitcoin, you still have a pretty big consolidation of ASIC mining power inside of a group of 10 or 20 people that if they collude, then you're going to have a 51% attack on Bitcoin. Mining rig rentals. So I know you can rent mining rigs. They all have to swap that stuff over whenever the algorithm changes. So I don't know. That would be a good question to ask. How many mining rental systems are going to be available? I don't know. It's not something I've ever really dove into. I mean, for me, it's always been a mindset of if I'm going to mine, I'm going to do it all on my own machine, and I'm going to take pride in the fact that I got the machine up and running. I'm going to maintain it, things of that nature. If you're not into doing that, for me, and this is me personally, I would just not mine. I would take the money that I would spend on mining equipment and I would throw it into just buying the currency. That's just me. Not advice for anybody. You know, do whatever you're comfortable with. Let's see. Probably not a big deal though. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I mean, I would say that you know, Vertcoin deserves to be the dominant GPU coin. You know, at the end of the day, miners are driven by profit. I mean, they're doing this in order to make a profit. They're putting the time in, they're buying the hardware, they're paying for the electricity, all of that stuff. They want a return on that investment that they're putting in, and I don't fault them for, you know, this is one of the reasons why things like NiceHash is very desired, because it maximizes profit. Profit switches based upon what's the most profitable at that point in time. Then it pays you in BTC, which, you know, is always great. But you know, miners are not normally driven by philosophy or agreeing with a particular set of code, or you know, what a project is doing from a, you know, technology standpoint. I mean, I don't know if anybody had seen what happened over the last 2 days to Dogecoin, which, you know, on the Vertcoin talk show, we don't really talk about price. Here, I'm not really going to talk about Vertcoin's price, but I will bring up the absolute insanity that was Dogecoin over the last 2 days. And, I mean, you could tell me what is the most groundbreaking latest technology that Dogecoin's doing. It's just a meme coin. And it's not that the miners were doing that, but, you know, people found a reason in order to pump it as high as they did. And you know, there's a lot of things that in this space make absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. And if you try and look at things objectively and logically, it's just not going to work. For me, finding a project that has a core set of values, has kept those values since 2014, has, you know, constantly been open, forthright. Everything is open source. There's no shenanigans or any, you know, anything that's kind of happening behind closed doors. To have a project like that, that means more to me than most anything else, simply because you know, it's a matter of trust and just community contracting. You kind of understand what's going to happen with the project. You know, with a lot of projects out there, there's no telling. And actually, let me I'll put this on just so we get a little bit of a animated background there. You know, so everybody's got to make their own decisions here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. I can't think off the top of my head. Has any other projects forked their algorithm as much as we have, or has been so steadfast in the commitment to try and keep ASICs off of our network? I mean, there's no such thing as ASIC proof. ASIC resistance is a mindset. It's a willingness to put the work in order to break the ASIC once it's been created and put on your network. Can we buy some hash at NiceHash so that the fork comes more quickly? Fast as I don't know. I wouldn't advise that. I personally would rather just, you know, if I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to spend it directly on something and not just give it to something like NiceHash. Hour at 29% attack. So yeah, I saw, you know, that website has been out there forever. The problem is, I don't know if that is true. I mean, if it costs $79 an hour to 59% attack Vertcoin, you know, the thing is, so with Bittrex, it's 600 confirmations. So you got to do that for 600 confirmations. So 600 times 2.5 minutes on average. That's a few hours. But I mean, even still, if it's that low, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't tried to take advantage of it. I don't think that site is as accurate as it claims to be. So gave your girlfriend $40 in Doge a few months ago and she sold it for $800. That right there, sir, will win you a lot of brownie points that you'll be able to keep in your back pocket. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. ASIC hashing power is cheap. I mean, but it's not cheap to buy. Those things are extremely expensive, and you pretty much, they become obsolete within like 9 months. Let's see. Monero's full CPU. Yeah, it's full CPU now, which is interesting because I know Vertcoin initially was a CPU mineable coin, and we got away from that because of a massive botnet that was being used. So we actually did away with the whole idea of CPU mining and stick purely with GPUs and focused on that. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah. We have 137 blocks remaining, and we're actually going to fork. So if you're trying to send your coins over to Bittrex, it's going to take you longer to get those coins over there than it is for us to fork. Now, the one thing that I am hoping, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, the proof is in the pudding. So it's once we fork over to Verthash. I'm pretty sure we can start to have conversation with Bittrex about lowering that confirmation. Some of the work that James had done at the DCI prior to him graduating was detecting 51% attacks, and he developed a program, which James, correct me if I'm wrong, in the chat, where he is able to it's basically just scanning a bunch of chains, a bunch of different projects, and looking at things like NiceHash and stuff of that nature, and if a block is being held, it's looking at all that stuff, and it's able to detect a 51% attack before it is executed. So I know for Vertcoin we have those 600 blocks, so if somebody's trying to attack Bittrex, we have more than enough time. It'll be alerted, or we can get alerted, and then we can do some preventative measures with the exchange. That is one of the good things, I guess, about being on our big exchanges, Bittrex. I don't know what it would be like if we were on Binance and things of that other nature, but yeah, there's some good technology there to just try and stop that. It'd be better if people just were not trying to be malicious, but it's the internet. People are going to try and take advantage of whatever they can. Let's see, where did you get that glowing Vertcoin sign? So this sign actually came from, I have to remember where I sent that. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Crap. Now I feel horrible because I can't remember the guy's name. It's been a few years. Hold on, let me see. Well, I think it was on Twitter. Hold on, let me look on Twitter here real quick. I'll see if I can find him. Dustin Nelson. So the BTC Addict on Twitter. This is his. Let me go to his page. So this is Dustin. So he has an actual CNC machine shop. Whoops, that's not it. Let's see if he has any of that. So what he sent me. So one of the other cool things that he sent me. Let me see if I can find it here on my other screen. That way I'm not just putting out information all willy-nilly. So let's see. So it's done in acrylic. There's an LED thing down in the bottom, so I can change the different colors and stuff of that nature. This is what he sent me, a picture of this. Actually, I gotta take this off the screen. Sorry about that. And let me show my desktop right here. So this is the picture that he sent me, that he had done it. So it's an acrylic piece, and then it's got some green LEDs down there in the bottom. So let's see. Here we go. Oh, his store is not available anymore. Maybe he stopped actually doing this. Man, that's going to be unfortunate. I'm going to he actually created another one. So I got the prototype. So this is the first one that he had created. It's a few years ago, but this is what he was going to be selling to other people who wanted to buy it. So you can see there the little green check, and then it had Vertcoin underneath of it. I got the prototype where it's just the logo. So that was the first one off of the line. I'm gonna have to tell him now that got people liking the sign. So the last time I talked to him was June of 2 years ago, 2019. People like your sign on the stream. Hey, to see the store is gone. So I just messaged him. So I'll put in his Twitter handle. If you guys are interested, he probably still has the equipment. He was making this at his house, where he just had a CNC machine where he was doing the acrylic and everything there. So that is his Twitter handle. So I don't have any metal VTC coins, but this is something else that he made. So right here it's a piece of wood, and it has a wood inlay right here, but it is the Vertcoin logo, so it's a little chip. So he made 3 of these for me. I have one still. 2 others. I gave one to Eric Etang whenever I went to see him up in Chicago. Actually, I gave 2 of them to him. The other one that he had, he gave that to where's it at here? He gave that to Lord, I'm trying to remember his name. I feel horrible. I'm just blanking on names this evening. So Nemesis, who is a GPU miner, ASIC miner, but he is part of the Family Mine Discord. He gave him that other one, but yeah, he made me 3 of those and threw those in. I got this one here. I haven't been willing to really part with it. I kind of like it. It stays here on my desk. And then I got the sign here that's going to go up on a shelf once I get that installed here in the new office. But yeah, I'll see. I sent Dustin the DM. I'll see if he still makes these. It'd be cool if anybody wants to pick one of those up. I paid him. Yeah, I just sent him over some Vertcoin. Yeah, it was a pretty cool little thing. I wanted to have it as kind of like a display behind wherever it is I'm streaming. So yeah, let's see here. Somebody was definitely doing some testing, some big testing. Somebody's got some big rigs that are looking ready to power on for Verthash. See if we got any other questions here real quick. Just looking through the Discord. If you're in the Discord, you'll be able to, if you have any questions, you can get them answered there, no problem. Like I said, I'm just on here tonight just to raise a little bit of awareness for the fork that's happening now. It's getting pushed back. So our blocks, the difficulty changes every block. So as people start to bring their mining rigs offline, the difficulty is going to go down. So that means if you're mining the current algorithm, then you will you'll be all set. Let me see. Hold on. Steve, I don't know if Steve is in here. Because I think this is set up for Verthash. I don't think this is ready to go. I don't think I can mine the current one. Let me see here. Yeah. I'm not even going to bother trying to mine layer 2 rev 3 right now. But I suppose I could. Let me see if I can find my miner. Where are we at here? Standby. I know I have Crypto Drudge on here. Because that's what I use that to mine for. I can probably get the latest one, but let's see. Trying to go through all of my files here from where we were doing We're doing testing on the testnet. Let's see. It's probably just faster for me to go crypto drudge. So downloads 10.2 CUDA. So let me extract this. See if I got it. Got a little bit of music playing there just so. And of course, so one thing to keep in mind when you are dealing with any sort of crypto mining stuff, your antivirus is going to be pissed, and you just have to go in there and remove that thing out of quarantine and put it back into the folder. So, let's see. Did that also? Just want to see if that messed up here. Hold up. Open. Was it just 2 files? Nope, that was a lot of files. Alright. Alright, so now when you first install Crypto Drudge, this is just mining right now. You'll get a README, that text. Here's where you can actually come in through here and see the different algorithms. There's our layer 2 rev 3. So if I wanted to mine right now, Crypto Drudge right now this is a closed source miner, so there is a fee associated with using it, but it's normally more efficient. So you get higher hashing algorithms and stuff of that nature, or hashing off of it. So you can see developer fee is at 2%. That's something else, you know, with the Verthash miner from Crypto Drudge, there's no fee associated with it. So we paid for that to become open source. There's no fee. What you mine at your hash rate is what you get. There is no back-end fee or anything of that nature. So let's see. I'm not even gonna bother dealing with that. I mean, I could, but I'm not too worried about mining the current algorithm. I'm all about mining Verthash once that gets down here. So let's see. I wish antivirus could see that I was purposely. Yeah. I know we got a I think it's called a license key or software key or something like that from Microsoft for the one-click miner. So when you download the one-click miner, you don't get that. Now you will get it when it downloads the mining software though. So, but yeah, it's you know, it's always a pain. It's been a consistent pain with mining since the get-go. Let's bring that back up here. We'll show where we are estimated. So we are at 5 hours and 30 minutes, 132 blocks left to go. I mean, this is the thing. I could probably mine right now on Crypto Drudge. Let's see. I think I might try and do it just to try and see if we can help along. Let's see. So that's the 25. So open file location. Here we go. Alright, I think I can do this. So yeah, let me copy this. Sorry, give me just 1 second here, guys. Let's see. I think. No, I probably need to get a different pool. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother trying to mine. I'm not gonna bother trying to mine that right now. Let's see. Does anyone know if Ledger is supporting the fork? I think both hardware wallets are supporting the fork, so you should be all set there. Just make sure that you have updated to the latest version of their software. So that is the thing that we have to take into consideration, is that when you're dealing with a hardware wallet, you are dealing with their software, and their software tying to our wallet. So we update our wallet to go to the fork. It's the hardware wallet's job in order to incorporate that new update into their software. And both of them have been extremely supportive of the forks over the years. So they are all set to go for this one. Let's see. Any comment on what the dev plans to focus on? Yeah, so like James had just said, right now, and really, I mean, for the last year and a half, we've been heavily focused on Verthash. So as soon as we got Layer 2 Rev 3, so remember, Layer 2 Rev 3 was a band-aid, or it was a quick tweak that allowed us to change just a few things inside of the algorithm that would break the ASICs that were on the network, without us going into uncharted territory where there was some worries about different types of security risks and things of that nature. Because at the end of the day, we have to work very hard in order to make sure that our algorithm and our chain is secure. I mean, that's kind of the whole premise, is that if we're doing this, we want to make sure that it's secure. There's no way to mess around with it. We don't want to break the chain. And that's one thing that James can attest to, is there is no real going back. When you do these types of hard forks, they're a hard fork for a reason. They're not a soft fork. So we wanted to make sure that all of our assets and everything like that are up to date and ready to go for the fork, because we want to make sure that everybody who is involved in the Vertcoin ecosystem is ready to go for the fork as well, and that you guys are all set. And at the end of the day, people trade and send Vertcoin as a form of currency. So we want to make sure that they're able to still do that. We don't want anybody to be negatively impacted by this. So yeah, let's. And once the fork's over with, then we get to focus on certain things. So you can kind of already got to see last Wednesday what we're looking to do from a one-click miner perspective with the submarine swap. So we really like the idea of being able to, for people to download the one-click miner, they put in a password, they click a button, they're off and running and mining, and they're able to mine the Vertcoin and then use the Vertcoin as they see fit. Or if they wanted to, they can submarine swap that Vertcoin directly over for BTC. We want to do that all inside of the same application. Once again, no dev fees, no nothing of that nature that would allow you to be able to get squared away. T to the moon post to go on the stream. Let's see here. It said that there was no chargebacks, but right now that isn't true. With network security, there's not much point. Yeah, that video that I played earlier was pretty old. So they had Lightning Network stuff in there and stuff of that nature. I guess, James, it might be a good idea that we probably try and do another one of those now that Verthash is squared away and stuff of that nature. See what that looks like. Maybe we can put a bounty out for it. They're not cheap, so those types of animations, unless somebody in the community is big into doing animations like that and they really have a passion for Vertcoin and want to spend the hours in order to put that in, and donate it as their support for Verthash and for Vertcoin, those can be pretty expensive. We've spent some money on them in the past, but those little infographics and stuff of that nature are really powerful when it comes to just communicating what exactly Vertcoin is, what exactly we're trying to solve, the problems and the solutions that we have to those problems. If Verthash solves that problem, we can focus on other projects besides the core node software. Yeah. Which the core node software has basically been James's baby for a while now, just making sure that everything is nice and secure and up to date. And we're not as lucky as Bitcoin in the sense of the amount of developers that are available to work on that project as opposed to our project. So when we see upstream security updates and feature enhancements and stuff of that nature in Bitcoin, we try to incorporate that into our core wallet pretty quickly, just because if they're getting done at the BTC level, they're getting done for a particular reason. And it allows us to make sure that we have more faith that our system is just as secure as Bitcoin from a coding perspective, because we're running off of those upstream updates. Just as so Litecoin's the same way. Since Litecoin was a fork of Bitcoin, I don't know if they're still taking upstream from Bitcoin or not, but really we pride ourselves on being basically a GPU mineable Bitcoin. It's the same general features, same general functionality and problem solving, except we just are heavily dedicated to GPU mining and not being ASIC dominant. So different algorithm, different block time, stuff of that nature, but we're a currency through and through, no different than Bitcoin, and that's the way that we want to end up keeping it. So all right, let's see. Been going now for 65 minutes. Gonna show another old video. So this just having this as a break, this allows me to get something to drink real quick. I'm gonna show this here real quick. I'll be right back in just a second. So stand by.
Vertcoin is a currency similar to Bitcoin or Litecoin, with the major differentiating factor being that it is committed to being an ASIC resistant coin, which means it can only be mined by GPUs. So that means that anybody from, a kid sitting in his dorm room in New York or somebody sitting in China in their home can be mining the coin. So it can't be mined by really expensive ASIC machines. When we talk about the vision of Satoshi Nakamoto being decentralized currency, where Bitcoin and Litecoin and some of these other coins kind of fail to do that is with these consolidated ASIC farms that are owned by just a handful of people that are processing all of the transactions. So with Vertcoin, it decentralizes the mining and the processing power of that blockchain to just the everyman. Anybody who feels like they want to get involved in mining can get involved and invest in mining equipment to mine Vertcoin, and they can rest assured that even if Vertcoin becomes the most popular cryptocurrency in the world, there will never be ASICs developed for it that only fat cats can afford to run. Another thing that is kind of part of the ecosystem of Bitcoin and Litecoin and Vertcoin, which is that those three coins are all SegWit enabled, which is a scalability solution for those blockchains. So Vertcoin is one of the first, if not the first, to enable SegWit, and it pretty much gives them the ability to be on the Lightning Network, which allows for something called atomic swaps. Vertcoin, in essence, can work as a payment mechanism for Bitcoin, for example, or you can seamlessly swap within the wallet using this Lightning Network technology, which creates a scalability solution not only for Vertcoin, but for Bitcoin and Litecoin as well. The social media venues are Twitter just at Vertcoin, Reddit r/Vertcoin, and the Discord. And you can pretty much find the links to all three of them right on the website, vertcoin.org, and you'll find a lot of great other information.
All right, guys. So that was another older animated video that we did back in the day. Wanted to show this real quick. So apparently, we're sending a picture of Vertcoin to the moon. So this is some of the cool stuff that you can just see in our Discord if you ever join it. Get in a lot of cool stuff in there, and there's a lot of there's entire sections just dedicated to food. Images and so it's more of a community. We talk heavily about development, marketing, and just general aspects of Vertcoin, but also a lot of these guys have been in here for I've known them all for 3+ years, we're sending some pictures of Vertcoin to the moon to immortalize it there forever in a digital time capsule with lunar capsule. The following images will be sent to the moon via a NASA rocket for the first commercial lunar moon landing. So this will be going there. We'll be putting that on the moon, and then this one right here. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Vertcoin all going to the moon. The downside with this is that there's no way to validate it. So until one day, I'm pretty sure that Elon will get us up there vacationing on the moon and stuff of that nature. But awesome little thing that we're going to be sending up to the moon. So that right there is the power of community coming together in order to send something like that up there. That was not something that was dreamed up by the developers or anything of that nature. That was something that our community member decided to do that on his own, which is awesome. So yeah, James. I would. So one of the things, James has now graduated from MIT. So he actually he has some liability as far as being on the stream and stuff of that nature professionally. So he needs to get some approval first before he can get on here. So yeah, James won't be joining us. He's in the chat though. If you have any questions for James, by all means. So that was part of the Mr. Beast video. Okay, so and now I'm not a Mr. Beast fan. I haven't necessarily followed him, so that's awesome. So let's see. So they bought space for a hard drive on the space shuttle. Huh. Interesting. That's pretty cool. I tell you what, that guy, I've seen some of his videos. He does some pretty crazy stuff. You can definitely tell that he's really good at getting the money from sponsors, and then he gives that money right back in order to make people's lives better, which is awesome. So, yeah. All right. Well, here, let's see. What else we got going on here? I'm just looking at things here in the Discord. Discord was pretty active today. A lot of people getting advice, figuring out what they need to do in order to get the miners squared away. Let me do this. Friend of mine, Red Panda Mining, he does this little like mining rig shout out type thing. So what I'm gonna do is actually, let me show this right here. So in our Discord, we've actually got a mining rig set up now where, so take pictures of your mining rig. So of course Eric has this gargantuan thing, which isn't real, but here's an example of some mining rigs that we have inside of the Vertcoin community. So this was one by Eric. So that looks to be a 3 series 1080 Ti. Eric, you just don't get rid of graphics cards. I mean, you got all kinds of multi-generational cards there. So there's no consistency across the board. However, they are mining, so that is good. The Vertcoin Pro here, this is, oh God. That is not much space in between them cards. I guarantee, I know why you got the fans on there. I can guarantee you those things are nice and hot. And then we have a cat. Cat will get a little bit of screen time as well. So here we got another one from Eric. So Eric has a few mining rigs. Just a little bit. So those right here. Got some more mining rigs on top of a really old stove. Eric, I'd love to know how old that stove is. So excited one, or excluded one. Another mining rig right here. So these are just mining rigs that we got in the community. So BDF. That is clean. Is that real? Or are these just examples that you're showing me? BDF, is this a real rig? Because this thing is gorgeous. Look how clean and simplified that is. The thermal take frame. That's beautiful. Code 43 or code 43 error on your GPU. Is that so, Jason? Is that when you first start mining, or is that where are you getting that error code? I'm not familiar with it, but we can troubleshoot it and try and figure it out. There's another mining rig. Now I've seen the hanging cards has been something. So yeah, and then there's another nice one. So you got two Noctua fans, Radeon 7s, and there's looks like some 5 series, or maybe those are some 580s. But those are Radeon 7s. Pretty. 3 miners, 1 node. Nothing wrong with that. Little test bench. There's another one. That's a old use of a computer case. So the open mining rigs is something that I've thought about doing, and I the people inside the Discord know that whenever I was building my house, I had floated the idea of actually making a mining room so where I can have all of the graphics cards and stuff of that nature, but have it as a closet that would exhaust air outside, pull air from inside. Either I could have a baffle where I can pull air from in the house, so during the summer, or in the wintertime, I'd have it pull air from outside. Now, obviously, you got to deal with humidity and all the other stuff as well, but just wasn't in the plans for this house, but this is pretty cool. I don't recommend having stuff like this in your house if you have a 3-year-old running around, because all of this is all play toys for her. There's no way in the world this would be able to be operational inside of this house for any length of time, because they make noise, so they're going to draw the attention of the child anyways. Yeah, hi. So this is hi. What in the hell? No, that's hi. That's not gonna work. We need to see your real mining rigs, man. No worries. So that's a clean little setup. It's dark. You got to turn the lights on in the room, but I understand why you did it, so you can show it off there. But yeah, no, that's pretty. I can't see what kind of graphics card that is, but that's nice. All red, so that's a 3 series there. I can't tell if what 3 series there that is. Bandit, that's a. I mean, you should be running a Radeon in that. You got a lot of red in there. High, okay, so this is High's rigs here. Nice, nothing wrong with that. Here's another set of rigs that he's got. So I guess these are the legitimate rigs. The little Hot Wheels one wasn't a legitimate rig there, so so I have 6 GPU mining rigs, 5 GeForce 1070s, and yeah, I don't know code 43. That's a new one on me. See if anybody in the chat. I would recommend you swing over into the miner section of the Discord, and you can get in some information there. They might be able to help you better than I can. I've never dealt with that. I would say it might be a driver issue or something of that nature, but Google's also your friend as well. I unfortunately don't know. I haven't seen that one. Fastest, so 2570 XT, sold one for 550 euro. Nice. Good return right there. And a 3060 Ti. Nice. Cool. I'd love to see more mining rigs inside of this. That would be kind of awesome to be able to see just the different aspects of what everybody's doing. I mean, mine's just a regular 2080 Ti. It's hard to even see it, but I got a big white tower here. Then I got a 1070 in this laptop, but not doing any mining on that this evening because I'm encoding the stream this evening. So cool deal. I'd love to see more of those miner picks. I know that's something new that we just ended up doing. So that might be something I can advertise on the Twitters. Let's see. Valera 2 Rev 3 hash power. So let's see. So one thing I wanted to check to see if what to mine was going to add Verthash on here. I'd imagine it may take them a little bit. So last time we did a fork, Layer 2 Rev 3 wasn't on some of these things initially. It took them just a little bit of time, but I'd imagine it's probably going to be going hash power. Let's see what our hash rate looks like. So we definitely had one heck of a... So this is something kind of cool to look at. Let me take this off the screen here real quick. So check this out. So this is the hash power for Vertcoin. You can see here, this is when we did our last fork. So we had this coming up. We decided, I think it was roughly around October, is when we were like, all right, we need to figure out what we're going to do. We had first just started the concept of Verthash, trying to figure out what that looked like, and we saw the hash power just jump up, and we had gotten some rumors and things of that nature that ASICs had been developed for Layer 2 Rev 2, and we had gotten some feedback, and that's when we saw our hash power go from about 700 gigahash, and it jumped up and just started climbing into the terahashes here, and then we were just at 4.6 terahash, and then we forked and right back down to 300 gigahash. So this is roughly what we should see here in the near future. So if we go back to the last 3 years, that's the last fork. Here we have, this has been for 2020. You can see that we've been slowly, steadily going up, but then we had a very large spike right here, and all the way up to 25 terahash. So we don't know. I don't know if we got any confirmation that somebody had actually built an ASIC, but you can see we went from that down to 6 terahash. So something was happening here inside of the network that caused people to bump up, and then we came back up. So now we're at 12 terahash later tonight. So in 112 blocks, we're going to know for sure, and James, you may be able to tell me, or somebody else may be able to tell me. I don't remember seeing any information that there was actually confirmed ASICs that had been built for Layer 2 Rev 3. But this should drop off like a rock, and we will be starting over again with a fresh algorithm that we know no one has ASICs for. And in fact, we theory craft that they're not going to be able to build an ASIC for it. So let me see here. Try driver uninstall, reinstall. Yeah, Jay, I don't know about that one. Yeah, the hash rate within the first hour. So you can see, so the best thing that we can look at right now is this right here. So this was the hash rate whenever we forked. So literally, you can see 1931. So this is 31 to 02. Actually, I think it was the morning of 1201 is when we forked last time, and it dropped off like a rock. This is because those ASICs that were available on the network back then, they took a dump. Yeah, FPGAs. This could be some bitstream FPGAs right here that are doing this. Now, this is one thing that we have constantly said, is that we're not against FPGAs. We want FPGAs to be cost to hash power ratio equal to GPUs, or be less efficient in the cost to hash rate power than a GPU. So for example, a 2080 Ti, I'm just going to use round numbers, it does 1 mega hash, but it costs $1,000. So if a FPGA costs $6,000 for the unit, it should do less than 6 mega hash. Ideally like 5 mega hash. That way it's cheaper to get more hash power to buy GPUs, like 6 GPUs, than 1 FPGA. Now granted, you take into account power consumption of FPGA, but you also have to pay a percentage to the bitstream creator, and they're not nearly as user-friendly or usable for gaming, for resell. You know, the idea is an FPGA is not average computer grade hardware that can be used by anybody. FPGAs are highly specialized. But you know, if you can get an FPGA and it has the same cost to hash rate ratio, we're not going to be too terribly upset about that. It's hard to protect versus these types of things, but we just kind of want it to be as I guess level playing field as possible. I mean, our focus is GPUs, but we understand that the FPGA game is out there, ASIC game is out there, and we do our best in order to fight that off. So, let's see. Yep, you can build an ASIC for any algorithm. The goal is that it wouldn't be much faster than a GPU block or buck for buck. Yep, that's the idea. And at the end of the day, we really would like it so, because I think, imagine somebody who bought a Antminer, like one of those ASICs for Bitcoin back in 2015 or 2016 when they really started going to ASICs, spent, I don't know what those things costed back then, what, $5,000-$6,000. Now they're not making money, you're losing money every day, power consumption versus cost. Now it might be different now that Bitcoin's near, it's over $30,000, but those things become outdated. And I think we talked about it in a Vertcoin talk, one of the early Vertcoin talks. We were talking about how Bitmain, with the way their business model worked, is they would have a generation of ASICs that they would be selling to individuals. While they're selling those ASICs, the reason they're selling them is because the next generation has already been built and they're currently mining with that next generation. When they get generation 3 ready, they take that generation 2 that they're mining with, sell them off to individuals, and then they start mining with generation 3. And that was kind of the business model. So they were able to have the most efficient, fastest, latest and greatest in-house operating. Then when the next generation would come along, they would sell those. So not only did they get the most bang for the buck out of electricity versus hash power, they then sold them for top dollar because nobody else had access to something like that. Perks of being the actual manufacturer. So, we talked about that a lot. It's been now, 2.5, 3 years ago. That's kind of the thing with ASICs, is that, once it becomes inefficient to run and operate, it's a paperweight. You can't you can't sell it to a gamer who's building, at that point, if my 2080 Ti, for example, in the next 3 years, latest, greatest graphics card comes out, I want to upgrade, I can sell my 2080 Ti to somebody who's trying to build a somewhat decent gaming computer or something of that nature and get, some return out of it. That card gets to go a little bit further before it goes into the recycle bin. It's definitely a much more economical and user-friendly method of going about hashing. So, let's see. Is Vertcoin can survive this market? Is it Vertcoin can? Vertcoin. So one of the benefits to Vertcoin, and this is something that's not really talked about with other coins and stuff of that nature, is that the entire development team could just get hit by a bus tomorrow, and Vertcoin keeps running. You don't need, we have some things like we're hosting some servers and stuff of that nature, but in reality, Vertcoin is its own entity. It's going to keep running and going. The only time that it would ever stop is if all of the nodes all across the world that's completely decentralized go offline. Then the chain stops, but as soon as somebody fires up a node again, it's going to start again. But essentially, we're not worried about the market per se, the market itself. Not concerned with it about it at all. We're concerned that people are able to use the product. They're able to have tools in order to be able to transfer value from one person to another. So the market's going to do what it wants to do. There's no way we can control it. There's no rhyme or reason as to why certain things happen and why other things don't. The best thing that we can do is just continue to build and to continue to give people an opportunity to be able to use a currency that can be exchanged digitally across borders. I can send Vertcoin to somebody over in Indonesia without getting charged the, $50 or whatever from a money or a wire transfer or what have you. much more prefer being able to do that, and there be no cost. It's quick, it's simple. And I can mine it on my own computer. I don't have to go buy it from an exchange because there's no opportunity for me able to mine it locally unless I spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a machine that's going to be outdated within 9 months. So, all right, let's see what all is transpiring on the social media here. The social media. God, I sound like an old person. I don't know if anybody's seen this. I'm sure you all have the GameStop stuff that's been going on in the stock market. This was hilarious. There's a ton of stuff that happened this week. Not only did you have the Dogecoin stuff in the crypto space, but the craziness that's happening on Wall Street. A ton of crazy stuff happening there. So, it'll be interesting. Apparently, the SEC is planning on punishing abusive activity in the wake of GameStop stock trading frenzy. They're looking at Robinhood and TD Ameritrade and these other retail trader exchanges in order to basically they're going to investigate as to why they stopped the ability for people to buy. They stopped the trading. They basically limited all of the stuff to protect the hedge funds. And if anybody follows me on Twitter, I was pissed about it. It was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if this is necessarily the space to go into, something about that, but it was highly entertaining. And I haven't actually checked. What is the GameStop stock price? What did that close at today? Still over $300. That's probably one of the biggest middle fingers to hedge funds I've ever seen in my life. That's awesome. But yeah, let's see here. He bought 50 euros for the lulz. Hey, that was a lot of everybody. They weren't doing it to necessarily make money. They were doing it to, it's kind of the meme from The Dark Knight, where it was, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message that the Joker had there. Yeah, I saw that Robinhood turned out to be the sheriff of Nottingham. I did get a message right before I went live that one of my friends was saying that looks like Robinhood is going to go bankrupt. I don't know, it might be, but that's, let me turn that down. The thing to keep in mind when it comes to software, and if nobody has ever seen the documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, highly recommend it. Any product, anything that's free, you are the product. So with Robinhood specifically, it didn't cost anything to do trades. You could get up 5 trades a week. I think that was the latest. Your ability, so it kind of limited you from being able to do day trading and stuff of that nature, but you were able to do free trades. There wasn't a fee or anything associated with that. So the way Robinhood made money was they sold that data to hedge funds. So these big hedge funds and these big people on Wall Street would know when when the data would show when you're making a trade, and they would have that information. So the hedge funds were paying Robinhood in order to collect that data. You yourself were the product. So when a company like Robinhood has a problem, the problem being the GameStop stuff, and it was retail investors who were causing the problem, they will always side with their actual customer. Who their actual customer was the hedge fund in Wall Street. So that is why I believe that they shut down the trading. I also think that they were told by those who would prosecute them or go after them that they were not going to be prosecuted. So I feel like this is 2008 all over again, where people are going to be doing things they shouldn't have been doing, like 130, 140% shorting on a stock. So they shorted more stock than what was actually even available, which should be illegal, because they made stupid bets. They basically were getting protected by people who it's their job to investigate and make sure the fair market is the fair market. So let's see. I'll be donating to charities every month. Do you have any suggestions? Would prefer something like worldwide, like WFP, instead of a country specific. Donating to charities. So I actually was the chairman of a board for a veterans organization here in Richmond that specialized. Our whole mission was to get homeless veterans off of the streets. So it was an organization called Veterans First. It was a motorcycle group. So we all rode Harleys and stuff of that nature, but we would actually go and we would do fundraisers in order to go around Richmond. And we did some other areas, but it was really concentrated in Central Virginia. We would see homeless veterans. We would take them over to the VA hospital. We would put them in hotel rooms. We would get them clothes. We would do everything we could in order to get them off of the street and get them back into society. Now, some of them actually they didn't want to be. They just didn't like people. They didn't want to be in society. But for our nonprofit, 98% of all the funds that we raised went to the homeless veterans directly, through paying for their rooms, paying for their meals, paying for clothes, getting them to the VA hospital, whatever it was. 2% of all of the funds raised were administrative. And by administrative, I mean buying paper, buying cardboard in order to make signs, paying for the actual, like if we had to pay any tickets, or if there was a fee or something like that to get them into something, we would pay that. You had none of the volunteers, all the people on the board, all the people who worked it, nobody got paid, kind of like Vertcoin. No one got paid. Everyone would step up and help out if we didn't have funds. We weren't huge in fundraising operations, but say all of that to contrast that with something like Wounded Warrior Foundation. Now, I'm a huge veteran fan. I'm not one, but I support them. And Wounded Warrior Foundation was actually started a little bit before Veterans First was. But Wounded Warrior Foundation, now Wounded Warriors are much more, they can be a more of an emotional pull than a homeless veteran. We actually saw some market research on that, in that depending on what the type of nonprofit you are will determine how much people are actually willing to give to you. Well, Wounded Warrior Foundation actually has professional nonprofit people who it's their entire job to take a nonprofit and grow it as big as possible. They got a hold of that and they blew up. I mean, Wounded Warrior Foundation is everywhere. But if you want to donate to a nonprofit, look at their, so there's a few sites, let's see, hold on, wait, best nonprofit. So there's some sites on the internet who they actually, they actually do a really good job. So one is the Charity Navigator. So they will give you different types of scores and top 10s and who to not donate to, who to donate to. They're a good one. Your Forbes and these other sites, they may not be the best, but you really just need to do research on kind of how the funds are used. Because if you look at a lot of nonprofits, the CEOs will be making millions of dollars. And it's like, at a certain point, it's like how much of the funds that are being raised for a particular cause are not actually going towards the cause. They're just going towards paying the people that runs the organization, that develop the marketing in order to get you to donate more money to the organization. So search for different groups. One of the nonprofits, so Charity Navigator. So my wife and I donate. We heavily donate to our church, but I would say even things like UNICEF is a good one. There's some other ones that are dedicated to animal prevention or animal cruelty prevention. There's some charities one that I really like is Mike Rose Foundation. So Mike Rose Foundation, which is Micro Works Foundation, it is a foundation that is designed to give scholarships to people. In order to award scholarships for vocational or trade-related programs. One of the problems that I foresee or that I see with people is that everybody has to go to college, so they come out of college with $100,000 in debt, and then they can't get a job in order to pay off that debt. The World Food Program, if they have a decent ratio of what they put in administrative versus what they actually spend, I would just look and spend some time on it. Don't just throw money at charities just to throw money at charities. Find one that's going to use the most of your donation to good, and not just eat it up in administrative costs and stuff of that nature. Yes. So when we switch over to Verthash, so ASICs are very specific in the algorithm that they can hash. Verthash will break anything that is not Verthash optimized. ASICs are optimized chipsets that only can do that particular task. That's one of the reasons why not a huge fan of ASICs, is because they have no function outside of that particular ASIC. Now you can melt down the metal and rebuild something and melt down the silicon and stuff of that nature, but they're kind of useless outside of doing that one specific task. That's why they do that one specific task so well. Extremely optimized, but they can't do much of anything else. Whereas like a GPU can do tons of different tasks. Not as optimized, but they're much more optimized than a CPU is. So, King Foundation. So there's another one. So fastest. It's called SaveTheChildren.org. It is a child trafficking foundation where they spend money. They have ex-CIA members, ex-special forces and stuff of that nature, and their entire job is to go in and save kids that have been trafficked. That's another good one as far as if you want to donate. So it's SaveTheChildren.org. They use special forces and stuff of that nature in order to be able to. They basically find these trafficking rings, and then they actually go in and get the kids out. So, highly recommend that. So yeah, James, if there's secret ASICs, I'm pretty sure everybody on the development team is going to be pissed. It's a lot of work just to go through and have something like that happen. So, let's see. Yeah, February 12, 2019 is when NiceHash started supporting Layer 2 Rev 3. I'm just looking at some stuff we got in our general channel here inside of the Discord. Let's see if we got anything else here. Let me jump real quick. I'm gonna show the latest animated video that we had created. So this was done just probably about a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. That'll give me a quick second here to go grab something to drink, and I'll be right back, guys.
What is Vertcoin? Vertcoin is an open source, truly decentralized digital currency that can be sent from peer-to-peer over the internet. There are no intermediaries, no chargebacks, and most importantly, you control your money. Vertcoin is sent and received from a digital wallet on your mobile phone or PC. When you send Vertcoin, the transaction is published to a distributed public ledger, whereby users are incentivized to verify transactions with their computer processing power in return for a Vertcoin reward. Surprisingly, most transaction verification for leading cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, is not done by its users at all. It is handled almost entirely by large data centers called mining farms. These farms use specialized hardware called ASICs, which are primarily owned and operated by large mining companies and ASIC manufacturers. So why does it matter? ASICs centralize power in the hands of a few, allowing them to manipulate transaction fees, force protocol changes, and block others. Vertcoin foresaw the issues ASICs would bring and pledges to keep its mining algorithm ASIC resistant by hard forking if needed. By allowing users to profitably mine coins on home desktop PCs and laptops, Vertcoin stays true to the original vision of cryptocurrency, a financial system owned and run by its users. Visit vertcoin.org to get started.
All right, there we go. So I'm back. Yeah, you can see that one's a little bit more recent. That's the main channel we have over on, or the main video we have over there on the Discord. Grindlord, is that you in the chat here? I just want to make sure that is you. Message me in Discord. I'll throw you a wrench in order to make you moderator inside of here. Another reason I wanted to do this stream this evening, one, just raise awareness, but two, one of the things that, because we've been doing streams like once a quarter now, we don't have nearly as much view time on the channel as we used to. So just wanted to get some more view time on here, get people engaged, get people ready for the fork tonight. I don't want to leave anybody behind or have anybody frustrated when the fork does happen in 100 blocks. You can see we have 100 blocks remaining. So we are 100 blocks away from the fork, which is just over 4 hours away as of right now. I don't know if I'm going to be awake in 4 hours. It has definitely been a long day, had a long day of work. That's another reason why we've scaled back at least the broadcasts and the dev updates and stuff of that nature. Is at the end of the day, everybody in the development team has a full-time job. We are really doing this out of the passion and love that we have for the project. But yeah, it's just been a lot. COVID has been a crazy. 2020 was nuts. 2021 so far is starting off rather nuts as well. I think it's giving 2020 a run for its money. I think we got a lot of work done in the COVID times than we thought we would have. Being locked up in your house gives you a little bit more time in order to be able to do stuff. Right now we're at 100 blocks. I'm going to refresh the page here real quick just to see. Yep, we're still at 100 blocks there, so that will update here in just a second. But, yeah, let's see. Grindlord's posting. Yep, that's you. Okay, all right, let me throw that up on here. So I will give you a wrench. You're now a moderator. Don't abuse it, or I'll have to ban you. I'll ban you on YouTube and Discord. No. Let's see. Verthash has ASICs, but what you get out of them are similar to running GPU. Yeah, so that's Eric. That's kind of the idea around Verthash. We pull some stuff from Verthash, and actually our hash power is close to the same amount as Verthash, but there's still some other tweaks, that we've done inside of Verthash that differentiates it from something like Verthash. See, show the website. What website? What website am I showing here? That's what I'm doing. I actually have the website up now, so you can see we're at 99 blocks. So this is actually what we have. Here we go. What we have up here on the screen is actually a screen capture that I'm doing of this monitor back here. So that's all being done inside of the encoder right here. So let's see. All right, let's see if we got anything else going on. Mining help. Looks like we got a lot of people in there. There's some people that are hard forking 100 blocks. So this is pretty cool. So if you have one-click miner up, let me show this right here. So you'll see that if you start the one-click miner, it'll tell you that in 100 blocks, restart the one-click miner after the fork, and you will be off and running. So this is our Discord right now. People just asking questions, trying to get some information on what's all is happening for the fork here. Now let me pull this back over. Let's see. Oh, yes, Vertcoin.pt. You're right. There we go. So let me throw that up here real quick. So, Vertcoin.pt. So this is the Vertcoin Portugal site. So this is something that Festus has done on his own, which we're highly grateful for that. So right here we have Vertcoin in Portuguese, which I'm not going to actually translate it, but here you can see we have Vertcoin website all set up in Portuguese, and this is just to expand, the multi-languages that are the world. While our primary language that we use inside of Vertcoin is English, we want to make sure and just kind of include everybody. Actually, I'm going to translate this over to English real quick just so I can navigate around, because I don't know English, or I don't know Portuguese, but here you can see it's all translated. It looks really good. It's a beautiful looking website. So you go to About Vertcoin. This is what it looks like here. So it gives you all the information surrounding Vertcoin. So 4 forks. So we got that there, decentralization. But this is just basically, this will point you to the wallet. So this will get you the latest wallet. But it's just a native Portuguese language website that allows people who speak Portuguese to be able to come in and actually see around inside of Vertcoin. Festus, while I got this up, you want to speak anything about the website in particular? This was something, did CryptoPlankton help you out with some of the stuff with this, or were you kind of out on this on your own? I know you kind of had developed this. Oh man, this B17Z, he was doing this Vertdocs. This is something that really just kind of gave up on. Here's the different branches, but you can see the master, no tags for it, but this was kind of his little thing. We had this, and then Vertcoin Academy that we were working on. Man, that makes me feel old. Those were some of the tasks that they were working on, and it just ended up not going through. He ended up getting hit. So for mining, you can see here for the PTC that, or the Vertcoin.pt goes directly to hashalot.net. So you'll be able to check that out there. Yeah, so Fastest, thanks for doing that. Thanks for translating Vertdocs. I have not been in the Vertdocs system in probably... I haven't been in the Vertdocs system in a while. If you guys see anything inside of there, if you have any interest in going after and working on any of that stuff, there's a ton of repos that people could pick up and start working on. I know we're heavily focused on the software side of things, but like the blog, for example, if anybody notices, we are no longer on Medium. So we got slapped for that because Eric was using the Vertcoin blog, but he was using his personal login, and Medium didn't like that too much. So we had actually just opted to, I think for the last dev update, what did we use? Oh man, sorry, I am getting tired. We're just posting them on Reddit now as opposed to Medium, but yeah, unfortunately they took down all of our dev updates, which sucks. Yeah, thanks, Fest. So anybody who does not speak English and would love to have some type of representation of Vertcoin in their native language, we have website developers. So CryptoPlankton is kind of our head website guy. He can easily help you build out something if you have any questions on kind of how to construct a website or anything like that. Our big, I guess, downside is that we don't have a lot of people that speak other languages than just English. So or if they do speak something other than English, they're heavily involved in something else that's taking up all of their volunteer time. So Eric says with older algorithms, yes, but the idea is that with Verthash algorithm, because it's IO bound, Yeah, I mean, so what we did is we just took all of the technology that and all of the latest thinking when it comes to algorithms and stuff of that nature and tried to take all of that information to build something that would be as optimized for GPUs and as detrimental to ASICs and FPGAs to just keep GPUs in the same ballpark from a hash rate to dollar cost for the device. So we didn't factor in electricity or anything like that simply because what I pay for electricity is completely different than what you're going to pay for electricity, which is another reason why I don't have a gigantic mining farm here at my house, because electricity in Central Virginia is expensive. So it's not economical. Now, if I was in a country where it was like 6 cents a kilowatt hour, you better bet that I would have an entire farm or something of that nature. But it's economics at the end of the day. You got to make sure that, one, if you're going to do something like a big mining farm, which, all of these guys that have these big mining farms with a whole bunch of GPUs, or even if you have rigs where you have 4 or 5 rigs with 6 GPUs on each of them, they're loud as hell. They suck a lot of energy. They're not kid friendly. And you just have to make that decision. It was like, okay, do I go down this route, or do I just take the money and buy particular coins, or try and support the project in other ways, other forms or fashions? You just got to make that decision on an individual basis. 22 cents per kilowatt hour. See, now I sound like an absolute asshole because mine, I think we're 12 cents. 12 cents USD kilowatt hour. Yeah, we're 12 cents here in Richmond or in Virginia. It's just hard to really make it valuable to do a farm in this area. Although I see solar farms popping up everywhere, so I guess if I was able to do that, put solar panels all over the place, then I probably could do something like that. But HOA doesn't allow that. So yeah, if you're executed one, if you're at 6 cents a kilowatt hour, I mean, I would roll with that. I think that's what Red Panda Mining is up in Canada. He's at 6 cents a kilowatt hour. Yeah, you just have to. So one thing you can do, Northern Maryland. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. If you go to what to mine, that you can plug all that in, and it'll give you your best optimization as far as cost of power versus what you're going to get. Yeah, green energy is great until it's not. And then, like one of the things that, because whenever we were building this house, we had solar panel companies that were begging us to put solar panels on the house. Now we can do the whole back side of the house in solar panels, but they can't be seen from the road, according to HOA. So we had floated the idea. We don't have Teslas or anything like that. That's high, that electric cars or anything. So really, I was looking at it from a mining perspective of, can I, get my electricity costs down to the point that it makes mining profitable. It just here, because it's not too bad. Definitely, if you're in somewhere like Arizona, you're going to get much better use out of solar panels. But really, I mean, right now it's gray most of the winter time. You're not getting a ton of sun coverage. So all of that stuff you got to take into consideration. Also, here we get hurricanes, we get tornadoes. Solar panels are not a huge fan of pieces of wood flying at 100 miles an hour at them. They normally like to break. So, all that stuff you got to take into consideration. So, yeah, HOA. So, I'm not a huge fan of HOAs. But luckily, I read the one for here where I'm at, and there wasn't anything in there that I wouldn't have already done myself. But I've had some battles with my HOA, even when we were building the house. Like, they wanted me to put trees in my front yard, and I told them to kick rocks, because unless they could point to to it being in the HOA rules, that sounds like a desire. That doesn't sound like a requirement. And yeah, you just have to. You got to be firm. You got to know the rules before you go into a neighborhood. As long as you're fine with it, And those rules are what they are. Now, the downside is that an HOA can change those rules at any point. But you know, it's got to be somewhat reasonable, because you can always go after them for being, you know, pretty tyrannical. But a lot of times HOAs have a lot of freedom in order to make things up and adjust things as needed. But you just got to be vigilant about it. You know, if you really want to be in control or have say in it, you run for the HOA board. But yeah, so. Easter egg. There's an Easter egg. I didn't see an Easter egg in there. I'll have to find the Easter egg. Now I got to go back and look for it. Hold on. Where's this Easter egg? Fastest, where's this Easter egg at? You can't tease me with an Easter egg here and then let's see. I gotta find it. Somebody can show me where the Easter egg is. Huh. Where does the blog go? I gotta see where that goes. Okay, that's where you're doing the translation. Okay. Ah, well, it's all right. I know. I guess I'll have to read it to see where that goes. Let's see here. 93 blocks. We're at 3 hours and 52 minutes, roughly. Still sitting around 3:20 a.m. There is no way I'm gonna make it till then. I already know it. I'm getting tired. Eyes are getting a little sleepy. Yeah, I guess I missed it. Let's see. All right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna eventually find it. So Vert. Oh, here we go. I see it. There it is. Okay. There it is. You now shall live in infamy on the live stream. I can't believe I didn't see. I thought it was going to be somewhere else, like it was an actual Easter egg, not just slapped right up in the middle of the first paragraph. So let's do a shot each block. I'll be toasted really quickly, and yeah, actually, I've actually not had anything to drink in like the last month or so. Because I've been having some, well, not to get into medical stuff and things of that nature. I got to go get an MRI done this next Friday for some GI stuff that can be contributed to drinking too much, but it has nothing to do with drinking too much. I only drink like once a month. But they have asked me not to have any alcohol or anything like that. So no drinking for me until next weekend. So... but I don't want to yawn on stream. Lord have mercy. Let's see here. Let's throw back up the estimated fork here. And we're counting down to this. So... Alright, just reporting feature of the mod mail. Let's see. We do have a lot of people that are asking if they have anything, if they on the Treasure or Ledger with Vertcoin. So remember, both of those systems are supporting the fork. So you just got to upgrade to the latest hardware software. That's all. I did talk about submarine swaps a little bit. I just refer back to the stream that we did on Wednesday. Where JK showcased the submarine swap live on his computer and on his mobile phone. So once we get past the fork tonight, make sure everything goes great. We don't have any sort of emergencies that we got to deal with real quick. Yeah, no, the mod ratio is pretty pretty rough. It definitely seems to be people on the stream. Let me see if there's anybody, or let me go. I just made some mods this evening, and now it's like everybody modded there. Share the stream. Share the stream with people. Like the stream. Subscribe. This is the frustrating part. We got over 2,000 subscribers, and there's only 30 people watching right now. Let me go to... So the analytics that we have available here inside of the Vertcoin YouTube channel will show me that of my viewership, let's see. So we've got 15 new subscribers. Our reach it's up. Our engagement bumps up. So this is also one of the downsides with this is the fact that, we only do a stream every quarter. So there's not a ton of constantly pumping out streams in order to get people to view this. Plus, it's a Friday night. Granted, it's COVID. People probably aren't out doing things. But yeah, let's see. So, of my subscribers, only 13.1% had turned on all notifications. And 8.5% of our subscribers, or of the audience, is from the United States. Let's see. Not subscribed. So watch time for subscribers, 44.3% of you guys are subscribed. 55.7% are not. So if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe just now. 55% of you aren't. So I can see that. 100% of you are male. I never thought I'd get to a stream on the YouTube channel, on the Vertcoin YouTube channel, where I'm actually just sitting here reading off statistics from the analytics. But 100% of you are male. So we need to get more women in this audience. We need to get more women interested in the cryptocurrency. And 100% of you are between the ages of 25 and 34. You need to tell your grandma and your grandpa. You need mom and dad, brothers and sisters. You need to get them involved in the cryptocurrency world, involved in the Vertcoin world. Would be nice to see them. Maybe they can learn something new. At least this is the one area in which I would imagine that people aren't going to be necessarily taken advantage of. They're going to be told the truth. They may not like the truth, but 140%. It's a good reference there. Executed one here. Let's go ahead and make you. We're just giving everybody moderator here, so we're going to give executed one moderator. Where is Gunboat? I haven't seen Gunboat in a while. Did she drop off? All right, the one and only. Explain Vertcoin, I'm new. I tell you what I'll do. Instead of me explaining it, because I need to go get a drink real quick, I'm going to show a video that will explain it for you. I'll be back in about 1 minute and 24 seconds. This will allow me to go get something to drink. Actually, I'm going to play the longer one here. This is an older one. I just don't know. Yeah, I can go get a drink in 1 minute 40 or 1 minute 24. I will be right back. Take a listen to this video and let me know, the one and only, if you don't know what Vertcoin is whenever I get back. All right, talk to you in a second.
What is Vertcoin? Vertcoin is an open source, truly decentralized digital currency that can be sent from peer-to-peer over the internet. There are no intermediaries, no chargebacks, and most importantly, you control your money. Vertcoin is sent and received from a digital wallet on your mobile phone or PC. When you send Vertcoin, the transaction is published to a distributed public ledger, whereby users are incentivized to verify transactions with their computer processing power in return for a Vertcoin reward. Surprisingly, most transaction verification for leading cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, is not done by its users at all. It is handled almost entirely by large data centers called mining farms. These farms use specialized hardware called ASICs, which are primarily owned and operated by large mining companies and ASIC manufacturers. So why does it matter? ASICs centralize power in the hands of a few, allowing them to manipulate transaction fees, force protocol changes, and block others. Vertcoin foresaw the issues ASICs would bring and pledges to keep its mining algorithm ASIC resistant by hard forking if needed. By allowing users to profitably mine coins on home desktop PCs and laptops, Vertcoin stays true to the original vision of cryptocurrency, a financial system owned and run by its users. Visit vertcoin.org to get started.
Oh God, all right. Barely got back just in time. That was a quick one. All right. So let's see. I also have the right to take a piss. Yeah, haven't had to do that just yet. But yeah, hadn't seen Gunboat in a while. She was in the Vertcoin Discord there. Oh well. Let's see. Yeah, that's the thing. The community definitely does grow and expand over time. Unfortunately, a lot of it is tied directly to price and things of that nature. So the one and only, just wanted to make sure, did that satisfy what is Vertcoin? Let me know. There's a ton of people here in the chat that can help you out in order to explain it. Basically, it's a cryptocurrency just like Bitcoin, except it's dedicated to GPU mining. That's one of the big differentiating factors between it. We want to make it so that anybody can mine it on their graphics card, and they don't need specialized hardware in order to be able to do it. So, oh man, all right, we are block 90. So we are 90 blocks away. So 3 hours and 45 minutes. Man, we need to find these blocks faster because I am getting tired, guys. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. This week was not as bad as last week, but it's been a long week. I don't know about you, but I've been blessed in being able to have the new house here because we are now working from home now full time. We still have an office for my company, but all of my producers and stuff are working from home. So the downside is that we're here at the house, or I'm at the house now pretty much every day, all day. Just get to go out and pick the daughter up from daycare and stuff. But hopefully you guys are in a position to where you're able to still get out and go and do some stuff. You're not in a completely crazy lockdown state. I had some coworkers that, well, the majority of my company is actually out in California, and it's an absolute crap show out there. So the one only fees, there's only fees if you're using a pool where they require a percentage. But if you're doing solo mining or if you're using something like P2 pool, there's no fees hardly at all. And then when you do transactions inside of the network, there's a network fee, but that's with any cryptocurrency. There's a fee in order, and that's how you facilitate paying the miners in order to validate the chain. So Vertcoin is getting more and more depressed every time he looks at the screen. Yeah, it's not going fast enough. It needs to go faster. James, I think we need to change the block time to 15 seconds. That way we can just, I don't know why we didn't do that whenever we put out the wallet. We just changed the block time to 15 seconds to hurry this thing up. Although we probably, instead of doing a nice round number like 1,500,000 blocks, we probably could have estimated when that was going to be. And we're like, yeah, well, maybe 1,500,004, or not 4, like 20. That way it's not so in the middle of the night. But middle of the night here, no middle of the night, on the other side of the earth. So, let's see. What did you get the installed for the chopper? Oh, no helicopter. No helicopter. Or the only helicopter that I have. Oh, hold on. This is the only helicopter that I have, which is a brand new, like, put this back on. Oops, here we go. So the only helicopter that I have is a brand new DJI Phantom 4 Pro V 2.0. Or, yeah, it's a Phantom 4 Pro V 2.0. So this little boy is the heart of my drone business right now. Let me put this back in the case. But my other drone was sitting on the back of my car in its case, and the wind blew the drone off of the back of the car. And apparently a 5-foot drop. I mean, I think I've shared videos on the Discord of where I miscalculated the distance for tree limbs and stuff of that nature, and ended up crashing the drone, dropping 20 feet out of the air and stuff of that nature. No problems. It was the old Mavic Pros. Got right back up, kept flying, no problems. But apparently a 5-foot fall off the back of a car while you're in your case completely shatters the camera and the internals of my drone. And that happened about a month ago. And so I had to make the decision of, do I pay for it to get fixed or do I buy a new drone? So $1,600 later, I got a new drone. But it's okay. We'll be able to earn that back and more doing projects and stuff this year. So, but that's the only helipad and helicopter associated, or the only helicopter that I have associated with a helipad here at my house. It would be nice to be able to get my full pilot's license one day and fly a helicopter. That is a dream of mine, but not right now. So I need a lot more things like what happened in the stock market today, or not this week, to be able to afford a helicopter. Push it back a few days. James, what was their logic or their reason about pushing back the fork just a few days? Like you could just turn the switch. I mean, they really need to go to something like Komodo or some sort of master node system where there's a single individual that would be able to just change things instantly like that with no problem. That's not possible, guys. Just so you know, the way that a fork happens. So we put out the software, 17, and the latest one is 17.1, which is the one that you should be on, the core wallet. In that wallet is the code in order to fork at the 1,500,000 block to the new Verthash algorithm. If 51% of the network does not adopt this fork, then you get a split in the chain. But we put the software out. It's up to the community and the network as a whole in order to adopt that change. James can't force the fork himself. Now, if there's nobody else with a node and there's nobody else with a full node, nobody else mining, yeah, he can force whatever because it's just him. But that's not the case. Everything's decentralized, and this is part of that community contract that we have, is that without the support of the community, it doesn't matter what the development team does. If the community doesn't adopt the fork, then it doesn't go through. But ever since 2014, the community has been vastly behind the developers and have really. We talk with you guys all the time. We give and take a lot of feedback. So we're constantly in communication with our community. So we've never had an issue where we weren't. Where we were in a situation where we were concerned that a piece of software or a developmental change wasn't going to be adopted. So we normally give pretty good reasons as to why we're doing things. We just don't do things just on a whim and willy-nilly. We really put a lot of time and effort into articulating why we're doing something. Let's see some other chats here. Yeah, fastest. That's. I'm a commercial drone pilot, so I can legally fly that wherever I get FAA authorization. So if I'm next to an airport, I can call the tower, which legally I'm supposed to do, and get authorization in order to be able to fly the drone. So let's see. 'Cause Yeah, it's literally. Yeah, time travel button into Vertcoin.qt. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, that's what James is telling me right. It is at the end of the day, Vertcoin is all about the community. The community adoption is what drives Vertcoin. The community using the currency is what drives it. We just, we basically try to be the best stewards that we can with Vertcoin, and we try and take care if there's a loophole or if there's a problem, we try and solve it. If the community wants us to develop an app or to develop some sort of system to work on the back of Vertcoin, we do that, but we do that within reason. So we're not going to just build any old thing and throw it onto the blockchain and say, look, we did something. Like, it has to really go with the core values of Vertcoin. Like, is it a currency related thing? Because at the end of the day, we're a currency. We're not just, we're not a blockchain that can substitute Excel spreadsheets. That's just not what we are. We are a currency. And, that's why we continue to strive towards adoption from a retail perspective. It's hard. Retail right now, especially with COVID, they are, accepting cryptocurrency is a nice thing to do. And I've talked about this before in different talks, but really the biggest problem that we have is that retail stores, if they accept cryptocurrency, well, they have to then pay their suppliers in US dollar or in their native currency. The suppliers need to be able to accept the cryptocurrency as well in order to truly make that transaction from the actual the person to the merchant to the supplier, to make that all be more symbiotic of a easy transaction of funds. So we just have to keep working towards that and getting that adoption there. So just curious, why does One-Click Miner need our wallet password? So, excellent ones. It doesn't need your wallet password. It needs a password. So the reason that that's there is so that if anybody or tries to send coins, so for example, say you're at your computer, you get up, if you have a roommate, I'm just making up an example here, but you have a roommate, they sit down at your computer, your One-Click Miner is running. Well, the One-Click Miner is running and somebody goes to try and send coins from that One-Click Miner to somewhere else, you have to put in that password. So this is just another way from a security perspective that you just don't let it. So you have to know that password in order to send coins out of the One-Click wallet to somewhere else. Yeah, so it's not the password that you use for Vertcoin Core. No, this is a password for the One-Click Miner specifically, so that if you want to send coins from the One-Click Miner to another address, you have to have a password in order just to validate that you are who you are, to give it some sort of level of security. Otherwise, any Tom, Dick, and Harry could just sit down at your computer and just start sending coins off if you leave the application loading. Or if they know the application's on your machine, they open it up and then they can go send coins. You got to have some sort of security there. We are 11 minutes away from midnight here on the East Coast. 84 blocks left to go. I wish you would go faster because I'm getting tired. Oh, man. I'm old. Can't do it like I used to, guys. Let's see. Salesman. Let's see. If Verthash will be a success, will you try to get on some exchanges? So, Lord, I can't pronounce. Dahaladus. When it comes to exchanges, and we've talked about this before, any exchange can add us. If an exchange has Bitcoin, they can add us, no problem. Code set is pretty much almost identical. So there's not a lot of technological hurdles that they have to go over in order to add us. If you're a project that is all about masternodes, there's probably something else that you have to do in order to add that to your exchange because of masternodes. But we're not like that. So any exchange can add us. It's James can probably speak to this better than I can. I don't know if he can speak to it, but it's probably pretty straightforward. It's probably not a lot to do, especially if you've already got Bitcoin on your exchange. A lot of times, exchanges won't list us because we do not pay listing fees. Now, if the community really wants to get onto an exchange, so let's just use a hypothetical. I'm going to call it exchange finance, except with a B. There may be an exchange out there that has a name somewhat like that. Let's say if they come to us and they're like, yeah, we'll list you, but it's going to be 5 BTC or 3 BTC or whatever they want to. You have to buy, their native currency on their platform, or something of that nature. Traditionally, we then would go to the community and we would say, hey, here's an offer. This is what we've gotten. This is what they want in order to get listed. And in the past, we've actually had, in the past, if we put that information out, exchanges have gotten pissed off at us because we've divulged their information. And this is one of the unique things about Vertcoin from these other coins, these other projects, whatever. We didn't have an ICO. So we don't have a gigantic war chest of funds just sitting around. So, for example, if there's only, 21 billion? How many Vertcoin can be circulated? 21 billion, or no. Bitcoin is 21 million, 84 million. Yeah, it's 4 times the amount. So 84 million. So it'd be a whole different story if we had when we first started the project, if there was 10 million Vertcoin that was pre-mined and we just have it sitting in a war chest. That's a lot of stuff that we can actually go and we can go get on exchanges with all that stuff. We didn't have that. We don't have dev fees on our mining software or anything of that nature. So we don't have 2% of everything that's being mined coming back to the development team. We don't have that. We don't have an ICO. So we didn't have a bunch of people paying us in Ethereum or in BTC in order to get a bunch of pre-mined coins. We didn't have that. So in order for us to come up with any funds in order to be able to do things, so get on exchanges, build software, pay a developer to build a miner, we have to go to the community and crowdfund that. So if an exchange won't let us tell the community what they need or what they're demanding from us in order to get on to an exchange, I don't know what we can do. And we're kind of unique in this situation is because, when exchanges hear this, they play like they've never heard this before. Yeah, James, sorry, 84 million. I don't know why I was saying billion. They play like they've never heard this before. Like it's some sort of new revelation. Like there's never been a cryptocurrency project like this. And maybe that's the case. Maybe we are so unique in the sense of the way that we go about doing things. A lot of projects, if you look at things over the years, it seems so far away, but you had what was it? BitConnect, something like that, where it's, a blatant Ponzi scheme that collapsed in on itself. You have projects out here that are not, they're just here to make a quick buck. They don't care about lying to your face. They don't care about, who they're destroying or messing over in the course of actually doing, creating something and putting something out there that could genuinely allow people to be able to exchange value from one person to another without having a middleman. Those people who have, those different types of, I guess if you want to call it a business model, they can hand over 1, 2, 3, 5 BTC. No problem. Get on the exchange and roll with it. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that. We're just not able to do that. There's no company behind Vertcoin either. We tried to go the route of having a 501c3. The United States IRS smacked us in the face for that. They did not like that, so we got denied that. Still trying to figure out what the best option is there. Honestly, I haven't had much time to focus on it. But right now, all of the assets of Vertcoin, such as the software and stuff of that nature, they're all just on individual developers, GitHubs, and stuff of that nature. So that's the way you've done it for a really long time. It would be nice to get it under a single legal entity, but this is where we're at. And, as a result of that, we've actually had issues in the past of your copyright stuff and things of that nature where we've had to actually go to court because some people were claiming copyright of Vertcoin in certain countries, and then they would want us to pay them to use the name inside of that country and stuff. There's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on with that. It would be nice if we had a single legal entity. But in this space, the government doesn't necessarily want you around. The banks damn sure don't want you around. I just cussed on stream, so I don't know if that... Well, we're not monetized, so it doesn't matter. So that's something else you'll notice. There's no ads whenever you're on here. So we're not monetized on the YouTube either. I've been going for 2.5 hours now. We're at 82 blocks. Would you go faster? You're taking too long. It's late. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. These people have been watching me for 2.5 hours. Let's go. It's not going to go any faster. It's every 2.5 minutes. Oh, boy. So, yeah. The last time I did a stream this long, I think it was with Josiah with Digibyte. We had a really long stream with that. And we just were talking about things going all over the place. This has kind of been all over the place this evening. I didn't have anything scheduled, or I didn't have a run a show prepared. Nothing. So, we're just winging it this evening, seeing if let's see if there's anything else here in the mining. I think most people should be squared away. Hopefully, with this being at 3 o'clock in the morning, let's see. So the new fork is a warning: hella coins to who? So the new fork. So this is the thing that happens with the new fork. So immediately, because we changed the difficulty every block. So that 1,500,000 block is going to be really hard to find because you're going to have the difficulty from the 1,499,999 block where you had a bunch of these machines on there mining, and then you're going to switch over to the Vertcoin algorithm or the Vert base, or not Vert. Good God, the Verthash algorithm. So everybody's got to restart their mining software and stuff of that nature. So that first block is going to be hard to find. But once that's found, the next 9 blocks should come pretty quick in succession. And really, it's a random chance. Odds are, if you want a chance of finding one of the first 10 blocks in the Verthash chain, being a part of a large mining pool is going to give you the best options. I mean, at that point, it's literally percentages. And it's a roll of the dice. It very well could be a solo miner who has a single, 2080 or 3080, could find it. It's completely up to chance. There's no guarantee that, I can't guarantee at all that I will find any of the first 10 blocks. But even still, it's still only, was it 25? Yeah, because we haven't hit our halvening yet, right? We're still at 25 VTC per block. So the first 10 blocks is 250 Vertcoin. That's up for grabs the 225 Vertcoin at a relatively low difficulty level. So that's one of the big things with everybody testing their stuff is, they're trying to get access to... My contact is just... It's messed up. It's because I've had my eyes open since like 5 o'clock this morning, and it's midnight. But they're trying to get access to the low difficulty blocks right at the beginning of the fork. So, can you explain what the target block time is? So, what the target block time is so we have 81 blocks left. Target block time is 2.5 minutes. So, every minute and 30 seconds. That is the Vertcoin block time. That's been that way. James, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's been that way since the beginning. Whereas Bitcoin, the target block time is 10 minutes, Vertcoin, the differentiating one of the differentiating factors there is that the block time is every 2.5 minutes. You have some blockchains like Digibyte where it's 15 seconds. I think it's 15 seconds, or is it 10 seconds? It's extremely fast. So that's why they have billions of blocks where we're coming up on 1.5 million over the course of, 7 years? So just that's what the target time is. Yeah. Same as LTC. It's the same target time as Litecoin. So, let's see. All right. Let's see if there's anything else we have on here. I don't know. Yeah, we're still 3 hours and 22 minutes away. I don't know if I'm going to come back on here. So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking of, I set my alarm. I stopped the stream, right? So I stopped the stream, go set my alarm, come back in here about 3 a.m. This is my biggest fear. Last time we did a fork 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I was set up to do a stream when the fork was happening. And what I've been talking about as far as it's speeding up there at the last little bit, I actually was late. I was late to the stream. So you can actually see it on our YouTube channel. The fork that we did. Let me see if I can go find it here real quick. So let's see. 2 years ago. Let's see. Man, we were putting out Verthash videos 2 years ago. Let's see here. I don't have it on here. I'm wondering if I might have deleted it from the channel because I was pretty pissed that I missed it. It just got sped up there at the last second. So what I might do, if I set my alarm for 2:45, then I think I might get back up and start streaming again. Yeah, so the excellent one. So that difficulty is determined by hash rate. So, and it changes every block. So the idea is, obviously, the Vertcoin hash rate right now, if I pull that up, let me take this down here. So Vertcoin hash rate, you can see, is much higher than it's been in the past. So if I just go here to 2020, you can see that we are right now at 12 terahash. We've been down to 762 gigahash. This is either ASICs or FPGAs that have done a lot of this. But if you go to the all-time, you see on average we've normally stayed around 700 or so gigahash, but this was the last time we forked. So we had ASICs on the network at this time for Layer 2 Rev 2. We forked at 131.19 or 12.119 right in this area, and it just fell off like a rock down to 356 gigahash. So that's what happens when you fork the algorithm and there was equipment on the algorithm that cannot mine anything other than that algorithm. So that's the whole idea around an ASIC, is that highly specialized, but it can't do anything else. So the problem's going to be the first block is going to be at this 12 terahash level as far as difficulty goes. But once it drops down, it's going to it's like a snowball effect because it does it every block. So if we're at 12 here and we drop in our next one, we're at 1 terabyte, or not 1 terabyte, 1 terahash, then the difficulty is going to adjust for that new hashing power. And then it may go down even further, and it's just going to snowball until it starts to average out to where the actual network will be perfectly fine, and you'll be able to get that in there. So let's see. Will the Verthash be similar to Ethash? So it's similar in the sense of how much hashing power. So like my 2080 Ti is like 800 and some odd kilohash. Whereas with my with Layer 2 Rev 3, what was I like? I'm trying like 70 megahash or 80 megahash. So that's, a huge difference in how many hashes I'm able to do on a per second basis. So Ethash is about as that's about as close as you can get to the hashing power that you're going to output. There are major differences in Verthash compared to Ethash as far as the algorithm itself. Let's see. Excuse me. So why did you mine more coins when the hash rate was lower? So when the hash rate is lower, if you're mining solo, you're competing against less people mining or less power mining the chain. So this is where it goes back to pools. So for example, if a pool of people if you have 40% of the network hash power in that pool, then every time a block comes out, it's basically a roll of the dice. The more hash power that you're pooling, the higher percentage likelihood that you're going to find that block. So the lower the hash power, the more likelihood that you will have a chance to find that block. If more people are mining on P2 pool, everybody mining on P2 pool have a higher percentage of getting more blocks in a row. So that's why. Why not hard? So the reason why we don't hard code a difficulty on that one block, because I think and James, let's see. Yeah, so that's exactly how it's implemented. So that triggering the block, the target time frame is still 2.5 minutes. It's going to be harder to find because of that difficulty, but it still will be found. Yeah, excellent one. So the rewards sometimes, so it depends on the hash or the pool that you're mining to, and what that pool owner dictates as far as the payouts go. So that is one of the differences between something like Hashalot mining versus P2 pool, where P2 pool is a protocol-based mining pool where there isn't a person overseeing the pool and setting those rules, and they can actually change those rules and things on the fly. So, for example, Hashalot mining, they're doing away with their fees for the next 24 hours. So you can see here 0 fees. So he's able to make that change, whereas P2 pool does not. It is what it is, and there's no one that's basically controlling that. The other bonus between for P2 pool is the fact that you don't. If someone is the manager or the owner of a mining pool, they can direct that pool to do certain things. So they're essentially in control of it. Will my Verthash be mineable on a 5600 XT or 580? Excuse me. Yeah, it should be. So we don't use a DAG size. I think that is an Ethereum style thing. James can probably talk to this better than I can. Yeah. So it's fixed at 1.2 gigabyte DAT file that's generated by Vertcoin Core. So that should be able to get on there as long as you have, and that's stored on the hard drive. You do have to load it into RAM though, but yeah, you should be fine on those graphics cards. See, are your rewards proportionate to the hash power in the pool mining? So yeah, excellent one. So it really depends on what the mining or what the pool's rules are, but normally that's the case. So if you are 10% of the mining pool, then you should receive 10% of the rewards of a block that the pool itself finds. So if the pool finds a block, it gets 25% VTC, and then that 25 VTC is distributed amongst everybody who contributed to the hash power, minus any fees or anything like that that the pool will have that comes off the top. So there's only one Verthash miner right now. There isn't any other closed source miner. So you can do the one-click miner, which will install the cryptographics Verthash miner. So in the what is it? The description, you'll see. Did I put the one-click miner in there? No, but I do have the core wallet. Let me get the one-click miner here. So this is the one-click miner link, and then cryptographics. So then this is the latest Verthash miner. So if you wanted to do direct mining, so you know when so the one-click miner will actually install that miner, but it's an open source miner, so that's our miner. It's the one that we paid for in order to make it open source. I assume within the next week or less, you're going to have mining places like CryptoDrudge and stuff of that nature that will take the open source code, optimize it, and create a closed source version that's probably more efficient, but they'll attach a dev fee associated with that in order to get that increased hashing power. No, so the fork, the way to think of a fork is sometimes when some projects will do things like, we're doing a fork, we're going to have an airdrop or something of that nature. There's no airdrops on Vertcoin. The coin is the same. It's just the chain. So if you think of a chain, they're going in line, in line, in line. Then there's a fork where it hard forks off. This chain that was the Layer 2 Rev 3 chain is no longer the active chain. It is the Verthash chain is now the active chain. And that, so if you had coins, so the coins that I have in my wallet right now, they will still be good when we do the hard fork. It's just I'll want to make sure that whomever I'm sending those coins to after the hard fork is also on the Verthash fork with me. Because if they have an old wallet and I send coins to it, they're not going to receive it because they're not on the correct chain. So one-click miner is on P2 pool. It uses P2 proxy. So this is the reason why you don't have to have a full node installed whenever you install the wallet or when you install the one-click miner. It uses P2 pool in order to pool. So everybody that connects to P2 pool their hashing power goes towards that. But then it uses P2 proxy in order to create a wallet for you that you can send your coins to without having to have the full node installed on your machine. I feel like by the time I answer this, Fastest or someone else or James or somebody like that has already answered it in the chat. I should just stand here or sit here and just look pretty. Let's go back to the screen cap here real quick. We're going to show the fork. We are now 74 blocks away. 74 blocks. It's a-coming. Slowly but surely. It'd be interesting to see if our hash power starts to die off here. So, zoom in for the last 3 months. It's been pretty steady. So let's see here. Let's see, all time. It is kind of funny to look at the BTC, like, so here, if I take this off, so just looking, I don't know if you guys ever do this, but like just looking at the hash power for BTC versus Vertcoin. So if I take BTC off, you can see that here we peaked out at, what was that? Close to 20 some odd terahash, and then you throw BTC on here. So they were in terahash realms. That was petahash. They were in terahash area around 2013. So they've gone to petahash. So here you can see the differences in the top left-hand corner. So E hash. So we're at 1 terahash. So it's beyond. It's a total different realm. But this is what happens when you're nothing but ASICs. Highly specialized equipment that can only do the SHA-256. If we go to Ethereum, you can see here Ethereum is in the terahash realm. So you can see that is going back through the roof as Ethereum price goes up. And then down here is us. But definitely, you know, it would be nice to have higher mining. But Doge, same general rule. I mean, there's a lot of mining of Doge. If we do Litecoin, now Litecoin has ASICs on it. Very similar to Doge. In fact, if you put both of them on there, they follow the same exact pattern. Same, pretty close to Ethereum. XRP, is this even mineable? I don't think it is. Why is that on here? So XMR dash red. So, you know, red's not even really showing up, is it? There's a little bit of red, but you can see that the mining for this is just kind of tapered off. This is, you know, 4 gigahash. It did peak way back in the day, but, you know, the mining algorithm seems to be pretty hard on the equipment. So, but yeah, no, it's just interesting things to look at there as far as the hashing algorithm. It will be interesting to see in about a day or so. What does that end up looking like? So, let's see if we got any other questions here. Is your plan to use all of the 4 gigabyte cards that just died from the ETH hash to increase Vertcoin hash power? That would be, I guess that would be I mean, it's not our plan because they're not our cards. But that's kind of the idea. You know, those cards, those miners need somewhere to go. And, you know, this is what I thought would be a great appeal to those miners is that we're dedicated to GPUs. We're not going to go to, you know, we're not going to start doing proof of stake. We're not going to start doing ASICs. If an ASIC comes around or if we see some sort of unfair advantage on a FPGA, we're going to do something about that. What is this? Looking into Bitcoin. Stock flow model. Well, if Bitcoin is $1 million in 4 or 5 years, that would be very impressive. So that means it should be $82,000 by May of this year. That would be crazy. That would be nuts. I don't know if that's going to be the case. This is definitely not trading advice. No, I never have looked at that. I don't know, man. When it comes to those markets and stuff of that nature, things normally don't go the way it should go or the way you think it's going to go. I mean, that stuff is just beyond rationale sometimes. But hey, for that that chart, it definitely is. It is flowing that direction. All right, let's see. 72 blocks. 3 hours. 3 hours to go. I mean, this thing might come close. It might be right at 320. I got 3 hours to go. God bless somebody. I need to figure out something to do to stay awake. Let's see. This may be a dumb question, but are you the only person who works on Vertcoin, or is there a team? Are you the creator of Vertcoin? No, so I'm not the creator. I actually don't even do any coding on Vertcoin. I am not a coder. I know a little bit of HTML, stuff of that nature, but I do the broadcast, so I host the Vertcoin talk show. I reach out and do things when it comes to, I guess, quote unquote marketing or outreach. Try and do a little bit of that there. I do guidance when it comes to legal stuff and just business decision making stuff, given my professional career and stuff. Try to contribute in that manner. James Lovejoy who's in the chat. Or he was, I don't know if he's still watching, but James is the lead developer for Vertcoin. He's been the lead developer for a really long time. We also have Yurt Jap, who is a developer out of the Netherlands. We have JK14, who's another developer. We have a few other developers that are kind of here and there. CryptoPlankton, he is kind of our head developer when it comes to websites and graphical interfaces and design work. So he does that. We have Alex, who he now is at AMD, but he does a lot when it comes to the mining and stuff of that nature and the actual algorithm stuff, although he hasn't been as active as of late. Then we have a team full of moderators that they really focus on just handling the community when either if it's a Reddit or a Discord, and just trying contributing to the growth of the community and just helping people mine. Then we have people like BDF, who they're and Verton, who is really big into mining and just generally helping people and stuff of that nature. But for me, I can code a little bit, but my gifts and talents are really when it comes to broadcasting, production, video production, things of that nature. So when I found Vertcoin a number of years ago, I wanted to help the project, but I couldn't really code. I didn't really understand cryptocurrency that well. I didn't understand the ins and outs of it. I didn't understand, like for me, kind of was like when I first heard about Bitcoin back in 2011, and I really wish that I would have taken it seriously. I thought of it as World of Warcraft money because that's what I played. I played World of Warcraft, so I was like, oh, so it's like gold inside of World of Warcraft. It's not real. It's just a currency that is around on the internet. And had I known what I know now, I would be a lot richer and I would be a lot more into coding and development and stuff of that nature, just because I would have, I would have been younger, wouldn't have had a family, wouldn't have had a career, or be as far along in my career and stuff of that nature, but would have just done some things differently. But I found a group of people that are really passionate about teaching, about letting people find, or, helping people find their way inside of developing stuff inside of cryptocurrencies, understanding the concepts and stuff of that nature. And even for me, I didn't have a talent from a coding perspective, but I had other talents, and I decided to lend that. So, I don't want to be the PR. James explained the concept. I try and take something like super complex as like submarine swaps on the Lightning Network and try and make it as palatable to the average person as possible. It's hard. I'm pretty sure I mess up a lot. James doesn't chastise me that much at all. So I guess it's not too much, but I try to do my best in order to articulate in an average way what's happening from a technical perspective and being able to make those concepts as understandable as possible. Because really, if you're not in the space, if you're not absorbing a lot of the technology and the latest ways of doing things, it can seem like vaporware or voodoo magic, or it's really hard to understand the different concepts, and you really have to, me being able to observe these guys work and be able to plow through problems. You got to remember, Verthash is a year and a half in the making. This isn't the first time we had Verthash completed. We had it completed, ran it through some war games and some test trials, and we found vulnerabilities, and we had to basically redo it. I think we did that either once or twice. So it's really interesting to be able to see how these guys develop and try and problem solve these different issues that will pop up. So I just do my best to try and articulate that when it comes to a stream, when it comes to putting out press releases or messages on social media and stuff of that nature. And making sure that we stay compliant with, if ever the SEC or the government tries to come after cryptocurrencies and stuff of that nature. I much rather would be less glitz, glam, and glitter all over the place, and a little bit more serious, to just make sure that we don't end up with the government's foot on our neck whenever they try to come down that route. So. So the Verthash miner, the latest one, so that is going to be the release candidate number 2. So One Click Miner 2.0 RC-2. So this is going to be it right here. It is ready to switch over to Verthash. So I'll put it here in the link right here real quick. So you'll just want to restart it once Verthash commences in 2 hours and 55 minutes or 50 or 70 blocks. Man, if that thing really does happen at 3:22, I think it's been at like 3:22 since we redid the page. So the timing on that has been really good. All right, let's see here. We deserve a week of holiday before the next fork. Let's see. So, do you have any plans for the Vertcoin after the fork? So, the plans for the Vertcoin after the fork is, one, make sure the fork is good. Shore up any issues or anything like that may appear. Last time we didn't really have any. Hoping that's the case this go around. Then we're going to really just see what's necessary. I think the one thing that we kind of have already in the oven cooking is the thing that I showed last Wednesday, which is the submarine swaps inside of the One Click Miner that allow you to swap Vertcoin over to Bitcoin. And you can do that through the Lightning Network. So that looks like that might be the first item on our list after the fork is finished. Probably going to take a few days, make sure the fork and everything is good. Then we might take just a little bit of a break, get a bit of a rest, and then start to work on that new item we're going to add to the One Click Miner. The One Click Miner has really become kind of our paramount signature piece of software outside of the core wallet, just because it's the way mining should be. If you really want mass adoption, if you want the average person or even the average kid who has a gaming computer that prior to COVID, when they would go to school, the computer's just sitting there for 9 hours doing nothing. You turn the One Click Miner on, they press a button, it's mining, and then when they get home, they turn it off, and then they can play their video games. That's kind of the idea around mass adoption when it comes to mining and contributing to the security and validation of the network. HiveOS doesn't even list Verthash as an algorithm yet, so it's not letting me set it up. Yeah, so that's a good question. I don't think we reached out to HiveOS. Let me see. I don't know if HiveOS is going to support that. So what I would do is I would reach out to them, Blue Ford Focus, and ask them. I was like, hey, you going to support the new algorithm? You can send them our core wallet. You can send the miner. And maybe it might be something where they take the open source miner, then they convert it into a closed source, more optimized miner. But yeah, ask them about it. There's one thing everybody that's in here that has a wrench knows. One of the benefits of there not being a company for Vertcoin or a leader of Vertcoin or like a figurehead of Vertcoin, anybody can ask anyone to do anything with Vertcoin. It's all open. It's all available. So if you don't see it on HiveOS, ask them to add it. Now, I mean, I can do it as well. James can do it, but doesn't stop you from also starting that conversation. So say if they wanted to add it to HiveOS, but they needed something, they needed some help with something or something like that, they can just reach out to the development team or let us know they're having an issue, and then we can try our best in order to help them. So let's see here. All right. Yeah, we have the rebase of 0.21 Bitcoin in the latest version of the core wallet. So Verton just came in. Yeah, so HiveOS will let you add your own miners through the command line. So that might be something that that you can utilize there. Blue Ford Focus. So just like James said, DP King, exchanges can add us. If they have Bitcoin, if they have Litecoin, they can add Vertcoin, no problem. It's not a technology limitation or a ton of technological work that they have to do on their end. Some exchanges either simply don't want to add us, or they may not know about us. So it's up to the community and the dev team. We can easily send an email from an @vertcoin.org email if necessary, but it's up to the community to really go after those exchanges to get the coin listed. But one of the barriers to entry and getting listed on exchanges is a lot of time exchanges want a lot of money to get listed, and we just simply don't have it. We don't have a war chest of funds just sitting around. So if the community wants to get on to an exchange and the exchange comes back and says it's going to be this much in order to get on, then if the community agrees that they want to raise those funds in order to get on the exchange, we're all for it. We can't stop anybody from doing anything. It's just, unfortunately, the conversations we've had with exchanges in the past is normally it starts out with, we would love to add your token, which right then and there we already know that they don't know anything about our project at all because we're not a token. And then they ask for money. And then they get upset when we say, okay, well, we don't have all these funds laying around. We would have to go and crowdfund with our community, and then they don't want us to tell the community how much they want for listing. So yes, there used to be a Trello page with a roadmap on it. Where is it now? So we actually stopped using it. Our roadmap, really, because we're focusing on a few bits of software at a time. We don't have like this long 12-month roadmap. We're kind of really starting to just kind of tackle problems that are coming up. The one-click miner is a good example. We had a one-click miner. It wasn't truly a one-click. You still had to do some other things and stuff of that nature, but we knew we wanted to revamp that. So that was in the minds of everybody that was working, but we didn't have it actually down on a roadmap or anything of that nature. We kind of just talk about it, especially inside of Discord. Discord is the place where everything gets determined. We gauge the community on what needs to be done. So there's a development channel in there. If you want to go in there, you can actually see James and Yurtjap and JK talking about what they're looking to do from a developmental perspective, getting feedback from the community. We just don't have a paper or a physical roadmap anymore. We used to. It just honestly, it wasn't utilized that much. So we just did away with that step of writing those items down. So if you ever have a question on kind of where we are from a roadmap perspective, jump into Discord. Just shoot a message to one of the developers and ask, and we'll be able to tell you exactly what we're working on, what we're looking to work on, and stuff of that nature. So excellent one. Will there ever be a 2-click miner? That's going backwards. We want to stick with 1 click. We want to make it as easy as possible. I guess technically the first time you open the 1-click miner, it is a 2-click because you got to put a password in. Although granted, if you don't count the clicks for the keystrokes. But yeah, it's a 2-click the first time you load it. It's a 1-click after that because you have to put that password in initially. Excuse me. Did you tag Vertcoin in that tweet? I'll actually retweet it if you can. So let's see here. Hive official Vertcoin. So yellow rose, is that blue Ford Focus? Yep, I see it. All right, so we're going to add it, and we're going to retweet it. There you go. So you've been retweeted by the official Vertcoin. There you go. All right, so you are... We'll see if that gains a little bit of traction. See if we can get that added in there. So cool. Yeah, Twinkie Man, I like the old one-click miner in the sense of that it really helped me learn about basically how you fill out these batch files and stuff of that nature. Yeah, you're famous now. It really helped me kind of learn some of that stuff, but I can't argue with how easy the new one-click miner is. It's pretty amazing how your Jap was able to get that thing to really just automate. It just made it so easy. So closed source miners have better hash rates because the people who take the open source one, they may just either be better at building miners, or they're doing some things that just make it better. They close source it so you can't see what that is. So unfortunately, it's not like we can go and just read the code and see what they're doing differently. And then in order to charge a fee for that closed source miner when there is an open source one that doesn't charge a fee, you have to have a better hashing. So they probably put in a lot of hours, a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error and adjustments in order to get a more efficient hash rate. So essentially, if a closed source miner is going to charge me a 2% fee, I need to have more than a 2%, or I don't know what the exact ratio is, but I have to have at least like a 5 or 10% increase in hashing efficiency in order to justify that 2% developer fee. So it's their job to make it more efficient. There's a lot. I don't know when it comes to creating mining programs, how they function or how they can be more efficient versus less efficient. But there's definitely the people who make closed source miners like Team Red, Crypto Drudge. They're really good at what they do, and that's how they're able to charge that fee. Yeah, I agree with the being able to look up the different P2 pool nodes and get the one closest to you. That was cool. The one downside of that is it was a little buggy. Sometimes it didn't work all the time. So there was some issues with that. But the original one-click miner is still out there. It's still on GitHub. So you can still use it. I don't know if you would be able to utilize any of the newer miners and stuff of that nature. You might be able to. I mean, you could probably still use that to run a P2 pool locally on your machine, but you can always just download P2 pool straight off of GitHub and then load it. But yeah. Yeah, let's see. The closed source miners are shady. Yeah, they can definitely. Well, so that's the downside with the shady aspect of it. What the downside with closed source is that you don't know what they're doing. There's no way to verify. That's the downside with closed source, and that's why we make everything open source on there, so you can check all of our code. There's no worry or anything of that nature. So, all right, 65 blocks. All right, guys. Man, I feel like a punk if I just stop now. I've been going for so long. What I can do, I'm going to leave the stream up. All right, I'm going to leave the stream up. Let's see, what are the benefits of Vertcoin over other coins? One of the benefits is you can mine it yourself. The other benefit is that it is exactly like Bitcoin in the sense of it is a currency pure and pure through. It's not trying to be an Excel sheet or like a scheduling type blockchain or something like that. It is a currency. You can mine it yourself. You can have your own node. You don't have to, unlike, like with, what is it? Ripple or whatever it's called now, where you had to use their wallet on their machine, and then you had to give them 20 XRP In order to do that, you can download your own wallet. Everything's open source. Yeah. Vertcoin, I'm hopeful that it can get listed back on the Korean market again. It was a little disappointing that it got taken off. But you know, it at the end of the day, that's what they wanted to do, and they weren't necessarily willing to do anything in order to change that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's time to call it a lid as far as the stream goes. I'm going to leave. I might actually just leave the stream up and running with the block timer going here with a little bit of music. Might do that for a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to leave it up and running. We'll see. But I'm going to go and call it a night for me here. I'm going to try and get back up when it comes time to actually for the fork. We'll see. It's already late. It's almost 1 a.m. But want to thank all of you guys for hanging out this evening. Hopefully everybody is prepared, ready to go for the fork. It's going to happen in about 2 hours and 42 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes, 64 blocks away. Thanks everybody for joining us this evening. And we will see you guys on the other side of the fork. Have a good evening, and we will talk with you soon. Good night.